and bank agents in Nigeria announced new service charges for operators in June. The association had said the increase in service charges was to ensure point-of-sale operators survive. However, the operators under the umbrella of Concerned POS Operators in Nigeria described the increase as outrageous and anti-people. Speaking with newsmen in Abuja yesterday, the chairman of the group, Kayode Salako, said the charge hike would compound the woes of many Nigerians. Poultry farms across the country are currently shutting down operations due to the persistent hike in the price of maize, the Poultry Association of Nigeria said yesterday. Based on this, PAN stated that the poultry subsector in Nigeria was heading for a crash if the government failed to salvage the industry. The statement, which was jointly signed by PAN's national president Sunday, Eze Obiora, and Director General Onalo Akpa, stated that there had been an upward surge in the cost of maize, forcing farmers to shut down their operations. Petroleum marketers in Abuja have increased the palm price of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, to 617 naira per litre. Some filling stations operated by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited in Abuja today raised the price from 537 naira per litre to 617 naira per litre. Independent oil marketers confirmed the increase in the cost of the commodity, as they stated that any shift in price by NNP's limited stations was an indication of a rise in the pump price of PMS. Recall that President Bola Tinubu had, during his inaugural address on May 29, announced that subsidy on petrol had ended, a development that led to the jump in the price of the commodity from 185 naira per litre to over 500 naira per litre on May 30, 2023. Since the withdrawal of subsidy on petrol and the floating of the naira against the dollar, marketers had continued to explain that the cost of PMS could rise to as high as 700 naira per litre. The Presidential Task Team on Port Decongestion has decried the economic effect as a result of the delay in clearing overtime cargoes at ports and terminals. The Director of Maritime Services, Babatunde Sule, who represented the chairman of the committee, Magdalene Ajano, called for collaboration between terminal operators, shipping companies, and the federal government. He noted that space issues in ports are affecting the effectiveness of reforms by the federal government. On the foreign scene, Russia struck Ukrainian ports today, a day after pulling out of a UN-backed deal to let Kiev export grain. And Moscow claimed gains on the ground in an area where Ukrainian officials said Russian forces were going back on the offensive. Russia described a wave of missile and drone attacks on Ukraine's ports as mass revenge strikes in retaliation for attacks by Ukrainian seaborne drones that knocked out its road bridge to the occupied Crimean Peninsula. Shortly after the bridge was hit yesterday, Moscow withdrew from a year-old UN brokered grain export deal, a move the United Nations said risked creating hunger around the world. And that's business news update on Today95.1fm. I'm Lucky Maxwell. Good afternoon.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Preview.
You're about to listen to 551.
Get ready. It's the world of broadcasting as Today 95.1 FM brings you entertainment, information, education as they unfold every day.
Today 95.1 FM.
Do you know that I'm necessarily mentioned? Do you think I just go climb from tree alone in this business?
So, you say you've not benefited anything from Nigeria.
What was your favorite Nigerian movie growing up? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
It took time. Conspiracy.
Today 95.1 FM. Don't touch that dial. Make sure you are tuned to your numero uno.
Tell me, where's your money now?
Why, man? Oh, woman, no.
Every day, we hear reports about counterfeit products, stories of fake drugs, foods, expired goods and other consumables being manufactured, imported and sold to unsuspecting members of the public. Findings reveal that Africa records at least 100,000 deaths from fake drugs-related ailments yearly. These fake and substandard products, particularly drugs, have been considered a global threat to human lives. And despite efforts by authorized agencies in Nigeria to combat the menace, the Nigerian market remains flooded with different unwholesome products. This is a plea to all those who manufacture and sell these goods to desist. Stop this menace of counterfeit products. Let's place value on human lives. And should you have purchased a counterfeit product or unsatisfied with the product, please contact SON or Consumer Protection Agency. This message is powered by Today95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
I am a proud Nigerian. I have been placed here by God for a time such as this.
At my back, I ain't coming back.
The degradation, challenges, and problems faced by Nigeria are the perfect backdrop for me to develop and utilize my God-given potential.
I will not complain. I will not criticize. Rather, I will use my skills, gifts, relationships,
and experience to find long-lasting and revolutionary solutions to the many challenges confronting Nigeria.
Nigeria will rise again.
Because I am here, I will leave this nation
a better place than I met it. I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth.
I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth. So help me God.
Let me tell you how I got this far.
This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
This president's failed.
It's about the future of this country.
We're going to take it back. We're going to take it back.
You asked us to vote you into that position so you can bring about that
solution.
So when you vote me, then you sleep.
Let me see if I can take another phone call. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
What makes a policeman to be able to feed is the gun he's holding. They use their gun to extort money from people.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
No longer news that we are truly the voice of the people.
Am I not a slave in Nigeria?
I refuse if you are. If you
yes,
are
slave. Let's not get to that now. So the Nigerian
You spot the difference now?
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Welcome on board. Good to have you on the program once again. All right. If you check the time, it's 11 minutes gone past the hour of 18th July 2023. Government, every good government stimulates policy to put money in the hands of the people. Because when there's money in the hands of the people, the economy is stimulated, and it will be easy for people to pay tax. You can then demand for taxes, and anyone who defaults, you know how to deal with that person. So what government does is to enact policies and programs that would, put money in the hands of her people. When that is done, government will have more money, because when the people have money and they are living well, government will of course take taxes, revenues will be paid as and when due, and government will have more money to invest more. That's how the economy runs. But when you collect money from the hands of the people, when you take money from the hands of the people have nothing left. So you won't have much money to engage in project execution. So every reasonable government should stimulate policies and programs that will put money in the hands of the people. You don't take money from the hands of the people. You stimulate policies so people can legitimately do their works, businesses, money will be in their hands, they live a good life, and the economy runs that way. Because without the people, there's no government. So you need the people for you to... That prices of things have gone up, price of goods and services have gone up as a result of the removal of fuel subsidy, which is grappling the economy as we speak. Everyone is feeling the heat. Now, if subsidy has been removed and price of goods and services are skyrocketing, and everybody decide to increase the price of their goods, and everyone decides to increase the price of their services, what impact will it have on individuals, on families, and on businesses nationwide? I'll give you a vivid example. So price of fuel has gone up. You sell fruit and you go to the rural areas to get your fruit. Now you come back with, let's say, 3 to 4 baskets of fruit. Oranges, mangoes, cucumber, watermelon. Before, you spend averagely 2,000 to 3,000 as transportation from here down to Ichi, or Rundile in Emoha, or down to Ogoni in Sakpenwa to get your fruit back to Port Harcourt. Assuming you spend 3,000 naira before, when fuel was 180, 190, 200 at most. Now, with the increase in fuel price, everything have, increased astronomically. So let's say you are now spending between 8 to 10,000 in transporting same 4 baskets of fruit down to Port Harcourt. What that means that if you usually sell 3 oranges for 100 naira, you will now sell 3 oranges for either 150 or 200 naira, as the case may be. Why? Because you have to build that extra cost into what you're selling, so you can, of course, also make a little profit. So what that means is that someone who usually buys 3 oranges for 100 naira will now be buying 3 oranges for 200 naira. So there's extra 100 naira from that person's pocket. If the person is a salary earner, also remember that that person's salary hasn't increased. Let's go into the transportation industry. The driver who usually charges 200 naira from Choba down to Rumokoro now charges 400 naira from the fuel price increase. What that means is that the salary earner who bought that particular vehicle is now paying double of what he usually pays ab initio. So he spends an average of, out of his salary of 150,000, he spends an average of, before, he spends an average of 10,000 naira on transportation. Now he has to spend between 20 to 25,000 naira on transportation, right? So on transportation, money has increased. The oranges he usually buys, there's extra. The tomato he buys from the market, there's extra money. So what that means is that his purchasing power has reduced. So if he was doing 110 before as a family man, he and his wife and children, they will now probably be doing 010 because the purchasing power out of the 150 that he earns. Recall that the 150 he earns hasn't increased because the company who employed him also has to pay extra cost on diesel, 7.5% VAT on diesel. So if you now tell your management to increase your salary, they'll tell you, now, wow, you don't know what's going to happen for Nigeria. Your boss might even shout on you. Okay? Especially if he's a very wicked and stingy boss. So they haven't increased his salary because even the company is trying to also, find their food, trying to survive. They'll have to buy diesel. They also pay NEPA bill. Remember also the electricity hike, even though they announced that they were going to push it higher, but whether they announce or not, they have a way of pushing it higher daily. PHED, have that mantra. They have a way of just, pushing the price. If they are giving you estimated billing, if they give you, let's say 100,000 for this month, next month might be 110 or 120. So the company is trying to also, stay balanced. So 7.5 VAT has been added to diesel, and the company has to spend more on diesel and on electricity. So it goes round, it becomes a circle. So it affects everyone, the salary earner, the trader, the woman who also sells oranges, fruits, who goes to Sakbenwa or Rundele or Eche in Chokocho to buy her fruit. That same woman will go to the market to buy meat, to buy tomatoes. So the price have added astronomically also. The man who also sells meat for him, for that woman, will have to eat. So before, averagely a plate of food, rice, beans, he just goes to slaughter, picks his meat, comes to the market and just wants to eat sharp. So with 500-700 naira, he's been able to eat something reasonable that can carry him till he's done selling. But because of the price increase, so before, the woman who sells rice was usually selling for 300 naira, 1, 2, 3, 4 spoons. She has reduced it to 3, and the man wants to eat at least, make something whole and well. So he increases what he usually spends on food in the morning from 700 to 1,000 naira. So he too will effect that same change in his meat selling. So if he was selling, let's say, a pound weight of meat for 1,005, he would definitely increase it to about 2,000. So maybe that's the reason why the point of sale operators in Nigeria have protested against the increased service charges in the country, which took effect on Monday, yesterday. I went to withdraw money from a POS agent and they've increased. Recall, they gave a memo, it was in the news, that they were going to increase their service charge, and they actually increased it. It started on Monday. Now, but there's another group that they say, no, you can't increase it. So there are two groups now. So the Association of Mobile Money and Bank Agents in Nigeria announced new service charge for operators in June. The association had said the increase in service charge was to ensure POS operators also survive. Just like I gave instance of the woman who sells fruit, she has to survive, so she has to increase the price of fruit. The man who sells meat to that woman who sells orange and fruit, who also sells meat to civil servants and other who will also increase, the meat he sells. If he, assuming a pound weight was 1,005, he has increased it to 2,000, so he can meet up, because he's also paying transport fare down to the slaughter to get his meat every morning. So you see, it becomes a circle. The civil servant, however, his salary hasn't been increased, so his purchasing power has reduced. The private worker also has not received a raise in his salary, so probably they will be protesting at work for the company to increase their salary. Civil servants also will be dialoguing here and up and down with the governor to also increase their salary. However, these other people, salary increment takes time. But the implication is the fact that the woman who sells fruit, who in, let's say, 4 or 5 hours, she would have finished selling all her fruit. She won't be selling that much, because the man who usually buys orange of 300 naira, 100 naira, 400 naira will reduce the number of, the amount of oranges he buys daily, because he also wants to meet up. So the woman who sells within 4 or 5 hours, she's done selling her fruit, we just discover that markets, they move the way it's supposed to move. Permit me to use that local parlance, so at least the people from the other end can also understand. So, POS agent also increased their service charge. But there's another group within them that is saying, you can't increase it. So, with implementation of the framework, Nigerians who wanted to deposit 1,000 and 4,900 will now have to pay a service charge of 100 naira. 5,000 and 10,900 will attract a service charge of 200. 11,000 and 20,900 will attract a service charge of 300. 21,000 and 30,900 will attract a service charge of 400 naira. And, there you go, up and up. 50,000 will attract a service charge of 600. That's for those who are depositing. For withdrawals up to 1,000 and 2,400, Nigerians will pay a service charge of 100 naira. Usually, it's 100 naira when you're withdrawing 5,000, right? That was before the cash crunch. Even when we came back, some were still dangling within 200, but later they came down to 100 for 5,000 withdrawal, right? But the new service charge is for withdrawals between 1,000 and 2,400, you pay 100 naira. Withdrawals between 2,500 to 4,000, you pay 200. Withdrawal from 4,100 to 6,400 will incur a service fee of 300 naira. However, some of them have a way of shaking it a little bit, all right, if they are your neighbors. Withdrawal from 6,100 to 7,400 will now attract a service charge of 400 naira. Withdrawal from 7,500 to 10,900 will incur a service charge of 500. 11,000 to 14,400 will attract a charge of 600. Withdrawal to 14,500 to 17,900, service charge of 700. Withdrawal of 18,000 to 20 will attract service charge of 800 naira. However, another group, the operators under the umbrella of concerned POS operators in Nigeria, describe the increase as outrageous and anti-people. I know some of you will say, hey, yes, patriotic Nigerians. But haven't you also increased your charges for your goods and services? Although we have not increased though. Jingles and live appearance. No, we haven't increased. We're still there. So we too are patriotic Nigerians, right? So, chairman of the group, Kayode Salako, said the charge hike would compound the woes of many Nigerians. Just like one of our listeners who called in, that he has a hotel, a bar, a drink joint. So I asked him for accommodation, has he increased? So he also asked me, if he increases, the man who is coming to lodge, where will he get the extra money to pay? Assuming a room was going for 5,000 naira and he increases it to 7,000. The man will just decide that, I go do my this thing for my friend house. Of course, for legends who are listening, they will understand what I mean. So he said, concerned POS operators in Nigeria is a coalition of POS operators and owners. And he said, we stand for the improved condition of our members and advocate fair practice by financial service providers and POS operators. But our attention has been drawn to the revised charges released by the Association of Mobile Money and Bank Agents in Nigeria. Nigerians who have faced hardship due to the removal of subsidies and other anti-people policies would have to pay more to deposit and withdraw money. We oppose AMMBAN's new price list. We believe it is too outrageous and will add to Nigerians' pain. While we agree that the new cashless and fuel subsidy removal policies have greatly affected businesses, we think the best thing for now is for the association to fight for how to make business easy for agents and the masses by fighting for some preference from the government to at least let the POS operators have access to cash if it would take the bank to increase their daily withdrawal limit. So the man is saying, that's the man who is talking on behalf of the concerned POS operator is saying, increasing it won't solve the problem. What they should do, however, is to see how they can meet with government to provide some form of preference for them. One, maybe increase their daily withdrawal limit so they can have enough cash so that less people will go to the bank. So if you make more transaction during the day, you mop up the 100 to 200 naira, you'll be able to make good money. That's if you have enough cash. So if CBN is able to tell the commercial banks that these guys increase their daily withdrawals so they can make, so that the number of people going to the banks will reduce. Of course, banks are making money already from transactions. Where you talk about transfers and all that. Banks these days now, they sap your account anyhow. So the chairman of the concerned POS operator is saying, instead of increasing this thing, because Nigerians are already going through pains, so if you now increase, you are compounding the problem. Let's see how we can liaise with government through the CBN to give a standing order to the commercial banks to either increase their daily withdrawal so they can do more transactions. Because, for instance, when was the last time I went to the bank? Most times it's just through POS and transfer, because there are some items you can't buy with transfer, so you need cash, right? The local woman in the market, you won't blame her. She needs her cash physically. That's the problem we had during the cash crunch. Some of them couldn't migrate because our economy is still cash-based. By the way, even in developed countries, you can't just wipe cash out of the system. You don't do that. Only in Nigeria do they implement some wogo policy. That's not English, so don't go and look for it in the dictionary. So Salako said, we have proposed 1,000 to 5,000 attract the service fee of 100, which is normal. 5,100 to 10,000 attract service fee of 200. 10,100 to 15 attract service fee of 300, and 15,100 to 20,400. He is saying that these service fees are moderate and are okay. And he said this has been adopted by our members across the country. We stand in solidarity with Nigerians in this period of hardship, and we think it will be satanic and unforgivable to add more outrageous prices to it. That's what Salako is saying. Now, Salako also called on the CBN to review its cashless policy and increase the withdrawal limit for operators. He said, we call on the Central Bank of Nigeria to review this cashless policy and increase the withdrawal limit for POS operators and mobile money agents via the ATM, counter, and other channels. So, do you support the first group who says, with the hardship, we have to increase our service fee? The second group says, no, we can't solve one problem and create more problems. Because if you increase service fee, Nigerians are already, someone who is already drowning, you are still putting block on top of the person. The man is trying to get out of the pit. You are still putting more weight on the person. You want him to die? That's what Salako is saying. That rather, in solving the issue, they should talk with the CBN to lift the embargo on the amount of money they, POS operators, get. So it will be easier. So if someone can at least get 200,000 per day, so if the person does multiple transactions daily, the person will be able to make a reasonable amount. They call it turnover. So instead of making big money on 5,000, 10,000 withdrawals and deposits, you make more transactions. Because if I discover that with 10,000 I pay 200 and I want to withdraw, let's say 100,000, why should I just bother paying transport to the bank? I just do it close to someone who is a POS agent close to me. So the person does 100 transactions with me alone and makes good money. If the person has 500,000, sharp, the person is done for the day and the person can go home with, some reasonable amount. And then number 2 question is this. If we all increase our goods and services as a result of what's happening, we all know what's happening, what impact do you think it will have on individuals, on families, and on businesses, generally speaking? These are the 2 questions I want us to trash. 1, are you in support? If you're a business person, are you in support of increasing, the price of your goods and services, just like the POS operators are also doing? Or you're in support of the second group that says, let's not do that. Rather, let's see how we have another window where we can liaise with the CBN to lift the embargo, give us more cash, so people around, instead of going to the bank, would rather want to deal with us because they know the service fee charge they will pay is just a penny here, a penny there. So there was no need, burning your fuel and going to the bank to go and withdraw cash. You just do it right in front of your yard or your compound, right? Instead of burning your fuel that you're buying for about 600 naira plus to go to the bank to withdraw some money because you want to buy some stuff. You just do it at the front of your compound or your yard. And then for you also, instead of paying transport fare, for instance, if you're living around this environment, you have to pay transport fare into Uniport to go and withdraw. So when you calculate the amount you will pay, to and fro, the stress, the time, since this person is not charging that much, let me just withdraw from the POS agent, close to my yard or my compound. Feel free, let's talk. 0817 0000951 0810 951 951. This is what you call macroeconomics, and that's what drives the system. And I just wish our government will be sensitive enough to ensure that these small things here and there are working so that people can have, what they call daily bread. And life goes on. Good afternoon.
Hello, my brother, Lucky Maxwell.
Robin Maja, good to have you, sir.
God bless you. I remain the farmer.
Yes, sir.
You look at the illustration and the explanation you have given. Do you know, or if you have forgotten, that Emefiele was hoarded because of all this issue that is playing out now? What is the difference when there was that so-called cash crunch and what is happening now? Why has the government of the day, the spokesperson, because we don't have minister for, as we speak now, we don't have minister for finance or coordinating minister for economy. Why have they not reacted? It's now association. If you ask me, or if you dig deep, the so-called association don't have CAC. These are young men and women who are struggling to make a living out of the harsh economic environment we have found ourselves in Nigeria. I am saying that those who are keeping quiet, the elite, the elders, in states, the clergy, they should continue to keep quiet. The doomsday is very close. As we are crying today, families are crying everywhere in River State. Those who got employment jobs, now they're out of jobs. They will follow me to be going to the bush to go and plant the cassava. Good afternoon. God bless you. I remain the farmer from a chair.
Thank you, sir. All right, dial 0810-9510951. Please do well to send in your messages. We'll be glad to take your messages. We appreciate you. Please do well to send in your messages so we can take them. WhatsApp, regular messages can be sent to 0701 9339 962. Would love to take your message. Are you in support of the first POS association increase, or we should search for another means in solving our problem? Which of these groups do you support? And if we all, everybody, including Today FM, if we all increase the price of our goods and services, what impact do you think it will have on individuals, families, and businesses? Hello?
Hello.
Good afternoon. Welcome, Chris. Go ahead.
You remember last 2 months when I tell you that somebody said, if you can go to beer parlor and drink a bottle of beer and pay 500 and still ask the waiters to keep the change. What is fuel of 1,000 we cannot buy? See, every economy of any state or any country relies on fuel and the other things. But everything is this money, no, this is money. You see that statement that Mr. President did, that the subsidy is gone. People are jubilating. I have asked people, do you know what the meaning of subsidy is gone? I'm telling you. Well, all I know is this. If you come to my own office, I mean that it's going to be hard.
But have you increased the price of your services?
Nothing, only that. Maybe me, I will not just increase. It's when you increase the product I'm using. Because I'm not for the Christmas now.
Honorable Chris, please call back. For you who is listening, would you support everyone increases the price of their goods and services? And if you're also a business person, would you also increase yours? Business person, I mean, for those who also provide services, maybe you do repairs. Okay? If you also do repairs, you're also into business. It mustn't be buying and selling. No, if you're also into repairs, supplies and all that, you're also in business. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Master.
Welcome, Obed. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Master, honestly, we are in a very situation, the condition now, the situation is precarious as I'm talking to you right now. Master, all the independent marketer has shut down the application right now as I'm talking to you. I don't know if you are aware.
We will take that in our subsequent programs from 2. We'll look at that.
Let me tell you that I just bought fuel at the rate of 837 naira right now. So, I think somebody will definitely increase. Look, we cannot overemphasize how essential is this commodity called petrol. The importance of this commodity, especially in Nigeria, who depend solely on this commodity for especially everything after. You understand? We don't have any other means. There is no electricity. In fact, there is no transportation anywhere. How many rays have you seen coming from anywhere? You understand? So this was the result when people were saying, you have not put anything in place. You are making this pronouncement. So the question you're asking, definitely everything will increase. Because I cannot buy fuel at this certain amount and I do business. Then you expect me to sell at what I used to sell before? No. You understand? Definitely the price will go up and inflation will go up. That is just the truth. You understand? But my pity is on Nigerians. You understand? This is what we have brought upon ourselves. Let us continue. Let us enjoy the meal that we have cooked for ourselves. Master, let me stop. When 2 o'clock.
Thank you, Obed. Hey, Obed, when you say we should enjoy the meal, please, I was not in the kitchen. I was in the kitchen. Which meal did they cook? Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good to have you, sir.
Yeah, I'm Samuel. I'm calling from Guruta.
Yes, please.
Yes, you see this fuel increase and the electric tariff issue. It's a multiplier effect. The PS guys, they are in the society as well. And they buy fuel and pay electricity bills. The machines you use to work, you need to keep them charged, right?
Exactly.
Yes. So, and that paper they use for
print
balance, yes, they have increased it. And it's because of importation or whatever, or dollar or whatever. So, the increase in all these things is really affecting the PS guys. I was once a PS operator anyway, but because of I relocated and I've not been in business for now. So the multiplier effect of that fuel increase, you remember the POS guys will go to the bank to go and withdraw cash, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. So all those things, it will it affect the POS. The gain there is not much, so to say. So if at all they want to increase, I'm in support of increasing, but not as exorbitant as it will be, because everything in the market has gone up. Everything in the market has gone up. So they should, the central bank should make a provision or make a line that you cannot charge more than this. Prior to the increase in the DC. So the central bank.
Or do you think the banks should increase the withdrawals for POS agents?
Of course, that one too is applicable. That one is applicable because when you are dealing with mostly when you are using small money to do that business, it's as if you are working for the banks and the POS. The fintech industries. You understand? So if the central banks increase the number, the amount you withdraw, that one too could help. But ultimately, the POS guys, they have to add something. I'm in support of that because of the increase in fuel. Because you have to charge your equipment you use in working. You definitely buy fuel to charge your distance. So at least they will allow them to maybe add 50 naira in something. So I'm in support of that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Hello. Oh, Chris, please call back again. Godwin from Choba says, if everyone increases price of goods and services respectively, it will lead to gross inflation, thereby weakening the naira. Thank you, Godwin. All right, keep the calls coming in. 0817 0000 951. And then for the message number 0701 9339 962 is for WhatsApp and regular messages. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, welcome.
This is Dennis Lawson.
Can you speak up, sir? Thank you.
Dennis Lawson.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, I am not in support. Reason, everybody should join hands to fight and let this war come down. We have it in our country. This is the only thing the common man in this country is enjoying. If they are very good in sacrificing, let them stop collecting salary or reduce their salary. They should allow the poor to come back to the price supposed to be, because this, whatever that's happening, started from the former government who doesn't know how to do things. Look how many people are there arrested in the NNPC to prove to us that whatever they are talking there, whether subsidy or no subsidy, has been addressed. Let them go after the orgas in that place so that Nigerians can know what's happening there. They should stop suffering people. Let me warn them. They have to do the right thing now. If not, the wrath of God is coming on them and they will not have anywhere to run to. That's my advice. Thank you.
All right. Please don't bring the wrath on anyone, please. Okay? Well, if you say you want to warn them, well, I hope they listen. All right? Hello. Good to have you.
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead, Honorable Chris.
Yeah. And like what I was saying before, if you have ATM machine or you have bank in your place, the whole ATM machine can be a bank or the people that in charge to fix money that into the ATM do what it's supposed to do. What we need to do with the ATM operators, POS operators, is just like we leave what's the problem. What is eating the cola nut, the cola nut. You go to bank, a line will from Aba Road to Obibo. For example, there now we have 24 hours in a day. So how can you leave your office, go to bank to withdraw money? They will ask you to line up. You will line from here to Obibo. Is it only just to get money on the day what you just wake up today to do? Banks know what they're supposed to do. They are the one they come with the agenda of this ATM machine. It's no longer ATM machine now. Now POS operator. After POS operator, they will now bring another people who pump through. Just implementing what they can't even anything they just see, they just borrow to continue is the problem. So if the bank can be able to fill up their ATM machine with money, you go there, you slot. What is the need of you have your ATM card? You can make use of it in the bank. You have some bank, you have about 2 to 3 ATM machines. None of them is working. We should focus on the bank. The POS of it's a bank manager that is bringing money for her. It's a bank manager. Bank manager will bring money for POS person. Now tell me, which business the bank manager or bank worker gets with the woman where they do POS operator? You know the business. You know the business now. No, you don't know the business that is going on. Why the money is supposed to share in the counter? Where you go, they will tell you they don't have money. But the woman have money to give to the woman that is doing POS operator. Who is deceiving who? And the bank manager who employ her. So we should start deceiving ourselves. The thing that is happening to us is between the government. What the government are doing now is the POS operator. They want to the POS operator. They are innocent. They want to increase the money to 1,000. Let them increase it until the bank and the government know what they're supposed to do. POS operator is where somebody is supposed to go and collect money. It's no longer in the bank or ATM machine. Now it's the POS operator. Is it not failure of the government? I don't care. I hate people. I hate when somebody most of them are accident. Instead of you to arrest the driver, you arrest conductor. What is the difference between the driver and the conductor? We know what we're supposed to do. We need to do it. They should hold the bank and the managers. They are the ones that are causing this thing. They have 1 point and most of them have 2 to 3 POS operators where they are doing this thing. If you don't know, come, I will show you where the woman will be distributing money to POS boys and girls. Who's fooling who? Give you money to share in the counter. You say there's no money. People will queue. You go and make use of ATM. Go outside and make use of ATM. Why the money is there for the counter to give people their money? Later in the evening, you close work. You carry the money. Start sharing to your boys that are doing POS operator this business for you. Who is fooling who? Who is fooling who in this country? It looks like people don't want to tell people the truth. That's the reason why. That is the problem I always get with this some in Nigeria.
Thank you, Chris.
I don't know what is going on.
Thank you. I had to allow him to vent his anger. Max, the Nigerian government has no concern about the future of its citizens. This is a government that was subsidizing diesel and kerosene. A few years ago, they removed the subsidy. Today, they added 7.5% tax. Tomorrow, they will also add 7.5% tax on fuel, just as they secretly added 40% to electricity. So everything we see today, by tomorrow, government will add whatever they deem fit. So don't be surprised with what is going on in the banking sector. Tomorrow, we are going to be taxed for the air we breathe. Welcome to Nigeria. Sonny from Ozoba, thank you. Cody Maxwell, I have increased my services by 40%. As they increase, I increase too. It says, I told one driver that I will pay him whatever he charges me, but I will also collect it back when he will need my service too. If a wisdom from Rukpoko, thank you. Oh, so it's tit for tat, eh? Maxwell, if every service provider begins to increase their prices, what do you think the inflation rate will be at the end of the day? Maxwell, this country, Nigeria, seems to be activating auto-destruct. May God help us. If I increase my service and you increase your service, it's not going to affect you and I. The only people who is going to suffer the pain are those who base on monthly salary. As for POS operators, if I go to any shop to buy something and you don't have POS on your own, or you don't have an account to transfer money to, and you want to refer me to POS agent, I will get out of your shop. Mali, thank you. You sent in that one. Some people do that. I also buy drinks somewhere. A big place like this. And they said, they do. I said, do you have POS? They said, no, they don't have. They want to call POS from outside for me to withdraw. I just carry my money, they go where they go. A big shop, you don't have POS. You want to call somebody outside. Tell me if that POS agent is not owned by you. Divine, one of this says, increasing goods and services will trigger huge inflation and it will also bring low patronage. Customers will be few because people will minimize their expenses. It's affecting my small business. I buy fuel of 4,007 every day before you get your own gain. It's by God's grace. Now that they have increased the pump price, I will not use 5K for only fuel. Government should bring subsidy back. That's the only solution. They are not ready to fix the refineries. No food. The suffering is too much. Don't they have conscience? Well, Divine Wanadi, question of the millennium. The public office holders, you know why sometimes they don't, in quote, have conscience? Because everything is free for them. Yes, the car they drive is your money. The food they eat is your money. The clothes they wear is your money. The school their children go to is your money. And you too, you also support them. You don't like that one, isn't it? Let's take a few more calls. We'll wrap up the conversation. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome. 0817-0000951 and 0810-951-0951. When I was small, they usually say truth is bitter, but I didn't understand. My mom usually tells me that truth is bitter. I didn't understand until I grew up. Then I now understood that, yes, truly, truth is bitter. And in this side of the climb, we don't like saying the truth the way it is. All right, let's take more messages. Any Emmanuel said, this is terrible and quite disheartening. Tony Joe says it will lead to galloping inflation. Whatever that means, Tony, you have to explain to us. Galloping inflation. Maxwell, greetings. If you don't increase your goods, how will your business survive? If the price of goods in the market is moderate and affordable, I don't think businesswomen and businessmen will increase their goods. Federal government should open our borders so that the price of commodities in the market will reduce. Thank God ability to. How will it lead to the decrease in... You heard in our news that poultry farmers are shutting down because the price of maize is going up. My question is it that we don't have enough land to plant maize? Are we depending on Ukraine for grains? Ukraine is currently at war. And you heard what happened recently where, the Russians are trying to, I think they hit somewhere, forgotten the place, I'll get it, and it will affect food issue around the world. The question is, what is your government doing in that regard? We have arable land. Niger State, the lands they have, can feed the whole of this country. How have you invested in that area? You can't also invest in that area because you have failed to curb insecurity. So the farmers now pay tax to go and check their farm produce. So you see, the problem is compounding. However, there are areas government have just shielded away from, like the new government. What have they said concerning insecurity? That's 1. 2, corruption. Have they said anything in that regard? 3, the refineries. Let's go further. Good afternoon.
Hello, my boss.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good to have you. Welcome, sir.
This question I asked, it really is not only one person in our but it's only those that know.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
It's only good for we ourselves to help ourselves. That's the only way we can benefit one or two things. Because without we sacrifice for ourselves, we cannot be able to meet up. Because even our relation, it is going to affect. So no matter any position you are, you think that you are doing something to affect another person. It will not affect. It's not another person. Even your own sister will affect. Your own brother will affect. So that is the thing. So we just try our best to help ourselves. We that are into, especially the less privileged. So we are going to go in this nation. And also this.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. Your line went off. I wanted you to finish your thought. These days, you don't interject people because there's so much anger in the land. Well, thank you very much. That's much we can take on the conversation. On the flip side, in case you're not aware, price of fuel have gone up 600 plus from 500 plus. May 29, the president announced that subsidy is gone. However, they've already paid subsidy till June. NNPC quickly increased the price of PMS from 180, 190 to 5 something plus. Nigerians kept quiet. Nobody spoke. The subsidy between that May 29 and June 30, 31 that they've already paid, whose pocket did it enter? Nigerians are quiet. Nobody spoke. Nobody was held accountable. Those who have been benefiting from the subsidy money, who are they? Nobody has been able to tell us. Everybody is quiet, right? And we've not been able to discover those people. And the monies they have swallowed all these years from subsidy. The same government that is still in charge now were the same people who protested in 2014 and said subsidy was a scam. Then they came in, they now started talking about subsidy that they were paying. Sometimes they say it's partial, it's not whole, is this, is that. At the end of the day, the government left 8 years. They didn't remove it. We heard Garuba Shehu came up to say if they had removed subsidy, that APC wouldn't have won election. For me, when people make statement, I think through. Did you think through that statement? What it meant really? Then President Bola Tinubu came on board, same party, and then removed the scam that they said was in operation. 2014 breaking 2015 when Goodluck Jonathan was still on seat. Think through. We'll look at the price of fuel. Why the increase from 180 to 511, 513 or 530 something by NNPC, that is the sole importer of petroleum products since Jesus was born. Permit me to use that. Why the increase? When subsidy was already covering June, where is the money for subsidy between May 29 and June 31? What is the true landing cost? And then transportation and every other thing, by the time you add it up, what should be the true price of premium motor spirit? You know, even though it's a deregulated system, but it shouldn't go beyond a certain range. Even if you have 20, 30 people importing, just like they said, more companies are now importing. Is it that everybody can just come, or is there a link? Are they on the same WhatsApp group? Guy, let's sell at this rate, all right? Do we agree, guys? Yes. Let's make so much money. Nigerians can go to hell. Is that what's going on? We'll find out on the flip side of two.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Thank you for joining us. Here is the news update for 2 on Today 95.1 FM. I am Lucky Maxwell. Petroleum marketers in Abuja have increased the pump price of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, to 617 naira per litre. Some filling stations operated by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited in Abuja today raised the price from 537 naira per litre to 617 naira per litre. Independent oil marketers confirmed the increase in the cost of the commodity, as they stated that any shift in price by NNPC Limited stations was an indication of a rise in the pump price of PMS. Recall that President Bola Tinubu had, during his inaugural address on May 29, announced that subsidy on petrol had ended, a development that led to the jump in the price of the commodity from 185 naira per litre to over 500 naira per litre on May 30, 2023. Since the withdrawal of subsidy on petrol and the floating of the naira against the dollar, marketers had continued to explain that the cost of PMS could rise to as high as 700 naira per litre. In the meantime, filling stations are already shutting down operations in Port Harcourt following the increase in the pump price of petrol in retail outlets owned by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited in Abuja. Today, FMC Funai Obemendukwe, who visited some filling stations, reports that just few stations are operating, with customers already crowding them in panic. While some stations have already adjusted their pump price to 617 naira per litre, others are still selling at the old price of 511 naira. Some of the respondents who spoke to Today FM expressed displeasure over the sudden increase in the price of petrol, noting that an increase is not what Nigerians need at the moment. A staff of one of the filling stations, Andrew, said they are still selling at the old pump price, as they are yet to receive directive from their head office for an adjustment in the pump price. In the meantime, the Petroleum Product Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria says it will make an official comment on the issue after its meeting with stakeholders today. The House of Representatives Minority Whip Ali Issa is appointed 6'8". Issa, a member of the People's Democratic Party, represents the Biliri Balanga Federal Constituency of Gombe State. He recently defeated Vice Chairman, House Committee on Solid Minerals, Victor Danzaria, during the 2023 National Assembly election. However, Danzaria had in 2019 won the seat under the platform of the All Progressives Congress, defeating Issa. Making his recent move to settle loyalists and reward hard work, Issa in a statement explained that the appointment were based on merit, adding that he considered the first three wards with the highest number of votes. On the foreign scene, UN body said a U.S. national has been detained in North Korea after crossing the border. The United Nations Command, which operates the demilitarized zone and joint security area, said the man did not have authorization. The KPA is the Korean People's Army, North Korea's military. The demilitarized zone separates the two Koreas and is one of the most heavily fortified areas in the world. It is filled with landmines, surrounded by electric and barbed wire fencing and surveillance cameras. Armed guards are supposed to be on alert 24 hours a day. And that's the news update for 2. I am Lucky Maxwell. Good afternoon.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Every day, we hear reports about counterfeit products, stories of fake drugs, foods, expired goods and other consumables being manufactured, imported and sold to unsuspecting members of the public. Findings reveal that Africa records at least 100,000 deaths from fake drugs-related ailments yearly. These fake and substandard products, particularly drugs, have been considered a global threat to human lives. And despite efforts by authorized agencies in Nigeria to combat the menace, the Nigerian market remains flooded with different unwholesome products. This is a plea to all those who manufacture and sell these goods to desist. Stop this menace of counterfeit products. Let's place value on human lives. And should you have purchased a counterfeit product or unsatisfied with the product, please contact SON or Consumer Protection Agency. This message is powered by Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Welcome back. Rush to our Facebook, Today 95.1 FM. Drop your thought and comment on this particular discuss. But let me just roll out the questions. I gave the preamble before the news. May 29, 2023, President Bola Tinubu said subsidy is gone. Dating back to 2014, when he and others also did a protest and said subsidy was a scam. Former President Goodluck Jonathan had, done it partially, wanted to remove it fully. Then price of petrol was around 90 naira thereabout. And then the protest erupted. He chickened out. And of course, some people also criticized him for not standing his ground. Former President Goodluck Jonathan for not standing his ground. That by now would have been out of this whole mess. Fast forward down. President Buhari came on board, being supported, of course, by now President Bola Tinubu, who was the national leader of the APC. 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, subsidy wasn't removed. Occasionally, you have hike in fuel price, maybe because of supply, corruption within the system. The PIA Act came on board, signed into law, has its own flaws also. It seemed as though the petroleum industry was unable to sort out itself. Former President Buhari, being Minister of Petroleum, couldn't solve the problem. You have later Minister of State for Petroleum, Timothy Silva, working in consonant with him. They couldn't solve the issue. In and out, Nigerians usually suffer from, these issues. You have queues sometimes. Late last year, we had our fair share also, where the price of petrol, then subsidy hasn't gone, price of petrol went up astronomically from about 170, 180 to 500 thereabout. Nobody could explain why we had to buy fuel. The independent marketers also have their own issues. Retail outlets also have their own issues. Nigerians are not getting probably the true picture of what's going on. NNPC Limited also is the sole importer of petroleum product. You now ask, why are you still importing petrol? Now, May 29, when President Bola Tinubu declared that subsidy was gone, maybe many Nigerians would have been expecting also the president to say, in 90 days, all the refineries must be fixed. Whoever wants to stop or be a stumbling block, we will crush the person. Just like we had subsidy, he summoned the courage to remove subsidy. Many Nigerians felt probably he would have also summoned the courage to break into the NNPC and see what's going on. That hasn't been done. Also, look at the refineries, take a tour, and then give them a standing order. How much do you need to fix these refineries? Or sell off these refineries. Who wants to buy? We'll give you so number of duration. Buy these refineries, fix them up. Start, ensuring that you do your fractional distillation. But you have the Dangote refinery that was commissioned by former President Buhari. Almost all the big men in this nation went for that commissioning, which is not bad. It's a private entity. But there have also been suspicion that some of these big men also have stakes in that refinery. How come the whole nation was focused on the business of a private man? Did other business people also build refineries? No. Were they given license? I don't know. Why weren't they given licenses to build? Is it that other people are not interested in this line of business? Fast forward down to November, December last year, fuel prices went up. The Christmas period was hell for Nigerians who, usually travel to their villages during the Christmas, of course, to meet with their people. Coming back was also hell for Nigerians. However, Nigerians have a way of, breaking through any difficult situation. I tell you, if you like increase fuel to 2,000, Nigerians will buy and still support their political bigwigs. That's just by the way. January, February, the cash crunch came with the fuel issue. And then it became hell on earth. Just like someone says, when a Nigerian goes over there, just tell the angels, you've already served your term in hellfire. Please lead me to heaven. Just on the lighter note, though. March, we started having some form of ease and within the cash crunch regime, and of course, fuel prices came back. Elections are over, someone won, and then May 29, bam, we heard subsidy was removed. Immediately, the NNPC increased it from, which is of course the sole importer, they are the orgas in this industry, increased it. Now, subsidy was paid for 6 months. January, according to the former government, that they've paid for 6 months, January to June. May 29, that speech was given, and immediately fuel prices went up. What happened? Who accounts for the subsidy that had been paid up until June? NNPC had told us that we had enough product before then that would lead us for more than 30 days. Even though NNPC has been unable to tell us the actual amount we consume daily, including Sundays, when you have religious activities all over the nation where people don't drive too much, they just drive to church, stay there. Some people will be there till 4 p.m. They go back home. Now, fast forward down. Nigerians felt, okay, 500 plus, we can grapple with this. We can adjust. And then, suddenly, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, a few weeks down the line, told us that petrol might get to 700 naira. Nigerians came with outrages. Different quarters, stakeholders spoke against it and said, no, you can't do that. Fast forward down now. Are we not heading towards that 100 naira that was earlier prophesied by Ipman? As we speak, price of petrol is 600 plus. Now, filling stations are also shutting down. The question is, why are they shutting down? Is it the usual tactics of let us shut down, suffer the people? So the ones who have will sell at 800, 900, because you need fuel to move around. You just buy at any price so you can move around. So at the end of the day, they would have also succeeded when they finally opened. Since you are now used to the 800, they will now just stabilize. Guys, let's stabilize at so price. What is going on in the petroleum sector? What is the government doing about it? Both the national and sub-national government. If we truly have a government who claims to care for her people, who is in the petroleum sector, either private or the government system in NNPC, and the private depot owners, Ipman, Independent Petroleum Marketers, Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria, filling station owners. What is going on? As at the time when price of petrol moved from 180, 190 to about 510, 513, as led by NNPC. Why was that increase? And was that increase occasioned as a result of the fact that Mr. President said subsidy has gone, so the landing cost approximately maybe would have been around 400 plus. So by the time you add other charges, Nigerians will now be buying fuel at 500 plus. Why the further increase from this 500 plus now to 600 plus? Is the prophecy of Ipman that told us a few weeks back that we might be buying fuel at 700 naira. Is the prophecy coming to pass? What is going on within the petroleum sector? Are there some manipulations? Are government officials involved in connivance with private individuals? Let's take a listen to this.
Yeah, I came to buy fuel, but suddenly we saw all the filling stations shutting down. So we thought we should just come and know what is happening exactly. That's why we are. But when we got there, they are still selling the normal price, but there's panic, so people are buying. That's it. I just feel that it's going to cause a lot of problems in our country because the hike is too much. It's just too much. You can imagine you buying fuel that you used to buy for 200 and something naira some months back, and now it's 500 and they want to still increase it to 600. It's unheard of.
We heard that there is panic, that they want to increase fuel. You see, so when we keep like just walking down here, I'm sure that what they said is true. So we have to go rush down to the house and get some gallons to buy our fare.
My dear, I feel very bad because my car just broke down the road. I get to find out they're selling fuel now 610 naira. And moreover, before we're buying fuel 510, 520, we are still complaining. Right now, as we're buying 610, I don't know what to even say for now. I didn't even get any special from them. I've asked them what's the cost of the price and say they have removed the subsidy, and if we can drop the price of the fuel down for us, I think that's what all the masses need for now. Because for me, I'm a businessman. I drive every day and I buy fuel every day. I can't even meet up, even take care of my vehicle again because of the fuel. Right now, I'm buying fuel 610. How will I sell for the day? What will I take home to my family? I don't have anything to explain to my family because at the end of the day, after working, I'll all spend the money in petrol. So I didn't see any gain of me telling the government well done for this work. Right now, I'm feeling pains with the government because as a citizen of this country, by right, I'm supposed to enjoy my right in this country. But right now, I'm suffering with my own right. So I'm just feeling as if I'm a student in this country. But I cannot pay transport. My children cannot go to school again. I can't even meet up to pay my total school fees again. So I'm feeling very bad for the government. If the government can help us and drop the price down for fuel, at least everything will be okay. Because all the only things we have in this country is all about petrol, food, transportation, everything about the country is all about petrol. So if the government cannot bring the price down for us, I don't think we can meet up.
We've not been advised to increase it. We're waiting for directive from Mobi. Our information are done. I think other states have increased prices, but we've not been advised. Yeah, that court has explained. Once there's effect, they tell us the price to sell.
So there you go. After we spoke with some residents who were at the filling station to buy, we also spoke with a staff of the filling station who said they haven't been told from the headquarters to increase. What is the rationale behind this increase? You know, when you want to increase something, you give explanations. Have we heard from NNPC? Not at all for now. Have we heard from Mr. President? What is he saying? What's going on in the petroleum sector? Who is in charge? Feel free to talk to us. Send in your messages. All right? Please don't use foul language. You can vent your anger, but please don't use foul language. All right? Yes, we'll give you time to vent your anger. We know people are angry. That's the basic truth. But just take it easy. All right? 0817-0000951. 0810-951-0951. Where have you bought fuel? How much did you buy? Where did you buy? Please feel free to tell us. Welcome.
Hello, my brother. Good afternoon once more. My name remains Robert.
Go ahead, sir.
Nigeria is in the state of higgledy. You see, those who are dancing yesterday, they will cry more than you because I'm already in the farm, in the bush. I cannot remember the last time I took salary. I am struggling to make a living every day with my family. They are dancing for this government. The present government, Senator Ahmed Tinubu, came on board, was running agog with pump fare. Under 1 month, people are clapping hands. Where are we now? About 2 weeks ago, we were told that the private importers, I don't know what they call themselves, that by this week, their petrol will arrive in Lagos, where the price of petrol will come down. Instead of that, I am hearing what I'm hearing today.
They said 2 cargoes have landed. 2 cargoes have landed.
So the more cargo that will come, the more the price will go up. That is the point I'm letting you know. That's what they told us. That cargo will come, the price will come down. So how come 2 cargo have arrived Lagos? The price is shooting up. I don't know what we are doing here. We are just joking. Let me tell you, my brother, if you come around my environment, Oshuboko, a host community to a multi-billion-dollar company that have modular refinery, NDPRO, coincide between Obelo, Meta, and Oshuboko. They have modular refinery. That Melek Yari came to commission. He remastered here in a fire in Ahoda East. People are joking with us. Then they continue to joke. Till one day, what happened in Olebri, that oil was struck in 1958, that oil dried, it will happen. Then those who are our leaders, our children will continue to ask their children, what did your grandfather, your great-grandfather do? How did they bring us to this where we are? Let them not ask questions. We are all going to suffer it. Good afternoon. Let others call and talk. The farmer.
Thank you. Good afternoon. All right, this one says, Oga Maxwell, filling station in my area right now at Transamadi Pito Dili Abluma, Okuru Axis are selling between 595 to 600 naira per liter. It says, welcome President Jagaban. Whatever that means, I don't know. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Maxwell.
Welcome, Obed. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much. Maxwell.
Sir?
You see, as I was saying the last time, I said you were laughing when I told you that the meal that we cook, people cook, it's time to eat the meal. You were laughing and you didn't know what I'm talking about. You understand? So, people that smash ballot box, people who do all manner of things to be able to win elections, all of us on the street, we are going to go through this together. That is one thing Nigeria to realize. Look, Maxwell, I will share it and I will continue to say, Maxwell. A man was in a hurry to have removed this subsidy without any measure. Instead of that subsidy remover is what is happening right now. You understand? That's what is happening right now.
All right. Being born into Nigeria is a prayer point on its own. The real natural disaster are not earthquake and the likes, but Nigerian politicians. Please put your name if you're sending in a message. KM Hosford says, good afternoon, Maxwell. What's happening in Nigerian politics? There is no governance. I don't understand. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good to have you.
I'm speaking with 95.1.
Exactly.
We have already entered one chance in this country. When I was, I'm now 50 something years now. When Babangida put fuel from 4 naira to 6 naira, 1986 or so. Are you hearing me, sir?
Go ahead, sir.
Everybody come out. We need to agree. They revised the thing. But now, we are dying. Now, from 180 now to 5 something. 5 something now to 6 something. And we are looking. Is this people can come out when former President Goodluck Jonathan removed subsidy? They are right.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, it's the one that first come out. But now, nobody can come out now. So everybody is looking. Because there's nobody. If they shoot you as a nobody that helps, you are not going to fight for any matter. This kind of Nigeria cannot good. I'll say this. Believe me, go and write it down. It cannot good. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So what's the solution? What's the solution? Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Maxwell.
It's good to have you.
Okwando Obina is my name.
Go ahead, sir.
You see, the price we are paying for incompetent leadership in the country. Before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu removed the fuel subsidy, I think that there are some other underground work that he could have done. And knowing fully well the nature of Nigerians, trying always in a habit of trying to sustain one another, he should have, made it possible for our refineries to be working. What is the rock? Does it take rocket science for a country like Nigeria to have a refinery? I think that it is the incompetence of our leaders that are causing all this price eating. This morning, while I was going to work, the filling station that we went to fill our tank, they collected 615 naira per liter. You may not agree with me that NNPC, there has never been any official statement from NNPC, either from the federal government, that price of pump fuel, price of fuel has been increased. But we lack leadership in this country. These people who will bring out a policy, and that policy will last the test of time. So that is the reason why today it is 1 naira, tomorrow it is 2 naira, tomorrow it's 3 naira. That is the problem that we are having. So for me, the people that removed fuel subsidy didn't do it well. I was a proponent. I was in support of removing fuel subsidy. But how about creating a very genuine transportation system? We don't have railway in this country. We don't even have roads. The president went and removed fuel subsidy. So I think the fault may not be from NNPC, it may not be from the presidency, but from Nigerians who are trying all that they could to change one another.
Okay, now let me comment. Hello, sir.
I'm hearing you.
Why do you think the government, for 8 years, the former government, was unable, if you can't fix the refineries, maybe sell it out to private individuals and then do the underground work? Why do you think they didn't do that?
That is the lack of competence that I'm telling you. Go to all these neighboring African countries that we call small African countries. Their refineries are working. But due to incompetent leadership, our own people here, they don't want to do the right thing, selfish interest, and other things that are associated with Nigeria. Don't want all those refineries to work. We need a leader who will take the bull by the horn and make our refineries work. If not, fuel will not even be cheap at any other time in this country. That is my case, my brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Marcel, good afternoon once again. Emeka from Owerri in Imo State.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm just getting information now. Here in Owerri, it's 115 naira.
615, okay.
Yes.
So we are all in consonant.
These people, they are mailing us, the ordinary people in this country. I don't see the rationale. I don't know. I can't wrap this around my head. Did you know that the Nigerian masses are suffering more than, I don't know the other word to use, but better than suffering. Because also suffering is a soft language. What is happening? Did you say that they want to increase electricity again? Have you heard that? Even when we protested that, no. They want to smuggle it to our backyard. I don't know the way they want to do. Everything about the Nigerian government is against the mass. And you come up to say you want to share 8,500 naira. How much is a liter of fuel? 250 naira. 250 naira might not see if somebody that is in jail to run his better person to run his maybe body salon or whatever. Why are these people not even having a human sympathy in their heart at all? Is it that they just want to deceive us to remove subsidy? They place it at 520 naira, 510 naira. Now they want to do really what they want to do. What is happening? Why are these people dealing with us in this manner? Eh? My brother, go to a hospital, you see people that are having BP. They are more in number than every other sickness. BP everywhere, mad people everywhere. You don't know that overthinking and overstress can cause all these problems. Why are these people just like somebody I think it's on the online was asking, can these people give their children 8,500 in a month? Why are these people but sometimes when I blame these people, I blame them some certain percentage. I blame our people level of some percentage because when these people were coming in, people were telling you some of us call us. When was all they were crying about the kind of problems that went into this last election? You see somebody will call you now and start praising. I don't know why the others are praising this. I don't know how much they are controlling. I don't know whether they don't buy this fuel I buy. Whether they don't suffer this is for.
Don't you think this whole thing is from within the private operators? Probably in consonant with some people in NNPC.
My brother Master, let me tell you. When you say private operators, who came up to tell us to remove subsidies? The private operators have come and told you, that you are removing subsidies, just like the last one I told you, without anything on ground. You know that before you start this kind of thing, if you have intention of removing subsidies in the next 10 months, you start this palliative. Even people may not even know that you are having a palliative. Introduce a massive transport system that can go across the interstate. Let the government within their state, because the major thing, one of the major things is the transport system. If I have a means of coming to this in Port Harcourt now, through a very subsidized transport system, maybe from over here to where you are now in Port Harcourt, with 300 naira or 400 naira. Actually, I wouldn't bother much about the cost of fuel in the fuel station. I'll just enter the transport. I get myself on 5.5 FM in Port Harcourt. I will have little and less to use fuel for. Which in other countries, they don't even know, but I said it, they don't know price of fuel because their transport system is good. The electrical system, they have electric. They don't know how much it's also you go and say, compared to America, why are you comparing? Because their money is a long way to visit to buy fuel. What do they use fuel for? Even the Tiger again, this old Tiger, this they don't use it. They don't use it on picnic when they want to go to fish, all those kind of things. But yeah, everything about us is fuel. The business is fuel. Yeah, Bobby said it is fuel. Yeah, still you are talking now. I wouldn't believe that you are running again. Everything about transport system again. No transport system. Everything is fuel. Everything is fuel. Everything is fuel. You see that this sector is expensive so that they don't tamper with it anyhow. But these people, they don't blood care because they have everything within their domain. Their food is free, their transport is free, even their fuel is free, their movement is free, their security is free, their health is free, everything is service is free. Even collecting more money, 1,000, 1 million. No,
you wanted to add their girlfriend is also free.
They have it, they've done that. Also over here, you've not gone to what's happening in the state. In those days, they used to come to over here. Every Saturday, you see some of those senators, they come over here, lodge in the big hotel here, buy wine of 500,000 for their girlfriend. It happens in the way, I'm telling you. Every weekend, you see them from Abuja, all those big men, they came to this place, lodge in a big hotel, you go for hotel, they say this hotel has been booked for more than 1 month. Nobody is there. I only want to make investigation. This guy is a president that booked that hotel. I'm telling you, I'm telling you. Even their girlfriend. What are we not talking about? These people, they don't even think of it. At all. It is not but all of us cannot even learn a lesson from this. We cannot, because even the pre-selection next month now, I tell you, this man will still get supporters from the grassroots. From what other people like me and you. I tell you the truth. But even if you don't get it, make mistakes through whether somebody will call on this one on your system to support him.
Thank you.
So that is because they are not facing that. I don't know what the benefit is.
Thank you.
People will suffering. I don't know, honestly, I don't know. This country is when I see some people say that I had or them, they want to say it or whatever. Sometimes don't misunderstand them.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, don't misunderstand them.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. True Love texting from Transomadi says, on the high price of PMS in the market today and refuel stations shutting down in some areas, that's my point. Why are the filling stations shutting down? Why? What is really going on? It says, I think we shouldn't be complaining. We should just continue suffering and smiling. Now, statistics will go chop. During the electioneering campaign, some persons in the state were waiting patiently for Wike to tell them his preferred candidate and who they should vote for. He finally did, and even went as far as giving us a shocker. I don't expect to see those group of people complaining as well. They should go to his house at Rume Precom. He's distributing petrol and food free of charge for those people that did what he asked of them. Are they distributing food at Rume Precom? Please, someone should tell me. And fuel. But I hope they won't have stampede. If a wisdom from Rukwaku says, Kide Maxwell, all the people jumping around with X. Which one? What has Wike got to do with this? Does he own a filling station? Okay, let me just read it. It says all the people jumping around with ex-governor Wike singing as they pain them, it is sweet us. As it is sweet us, they pain them. How far now? It's now sweeting Wike and the politicians while it's paining the followers. He says, I pity for people who don't have a skill. This is not the time to depend on salary if you're wisdom. But what has this got to do with, like you brought in Wike and Fullership? We're talking about the petroleum industry. We're talking about Ipman that told us that petrol most likely will be selling for 700. Is that prophecy coming to pass? Why are the filling stations shutting down? Where is this increase coming from? Is it as a result of the dollar and naira rate, where, of course, Mr. President said no more official rate? Is that what is causing this issue? If we have 2 cargoes that have landed, if we have more people importing, shouldn't we have a lesser price? What is really going on? Has the NNPC given a statement? Not yet, as for now. We've not gotten any report. What is Mr. President saying about this? The same way he talked about petrol subsidy is now gone. Mr. Rami says we are not ready yet. All we do is complain in some country. To increase price of bread, people protest. But here, all we know is to complain. Maxwell, please help me to ask those people who were hailing Tinubu and his APC if there are special filling stations and market for their members. All of us must suffer it together. Udo, you sent in that one. Max, do you know that this government of Tinubu are out to punish its citizenry due to lack of willpower, you mean, on the side of Tinubu? Yes, you sent in that one. Maxwell, greetings. Majority of Nigerians are not enjoying the dividends of democracy since the inception of democracy. So, what kind of suffering is this? I have to jump that particular part. Giant of Africa for mouth. Maxwell, if I tell you how much I spend in a week for fuel, you will be shocked. Thank God, Ability Atuebu. Thank you. You sent in that one. Former President Buhari should be blamed for applying to not Tinubu. He should have fixed the refineries before handing over to President Tinubu. Major Safestus Digbani, you sent in that one. Thank you. This one is lengthy. Maxwell, when you were posing questions like, where are these and everybody is quiet, tears almost rolled down my cheek. The president was told that the only group that can challenge him is the National Assembly. He quickly made an appropriation of 700 billion to shut them down. For the NLCTUC, they are down and out. After initial gragra, the Shoinkas, Falanas, and many others who resisted former President Jonathan, where are they now? It's good now, but not then. In the state, in the last election, the slogan was vote Tinubu to repeat what he did in Lagos. We are seeing what he did, and we shall all be in the same pot of soup. Shame to the country, Nigeria. Dave, you sent in that one. Thank you. Maxwell, you laughed. He says, I'm laughing in my dialect. I want them, but they refuse to listen. But thank there is no Labour Party fuel. We all will enjoy the Surugede dance, which is Dance of the Spirit from Ogoha, Nwa James, Obasi Dirielu. Okay, that's what you said. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Hello, Mr. Maxwell.
Welcome, sir.
God bless you, brother. You're a man of goodwill. My name is Daniel.
Welcome, sir.
My brother, according to what you said, if they sell for 2,000 a liter, they will buy it. And you hear them say it's well. God day, we go survive them. It's very difficult. That's just Nigerian man for you. I will mention them. If you permit me, I'll call them like that. Just three.
No, don't call me.
I'm not calling them. Last three caller. He was their praise singer.
Let's talk about the issue. That's the
issue now. That's the problem. Because the people who are hyping them yesterday are suffering today. I want them during election, during campaign, Tinubu say he will start from where Buhari stopped. That was what Tinubu said. And they were doing, instead of them to vote rightly, they were doing my brother, this one no go rule, this one no go. Now we don't care. Nigerians can never protest. If they manage to gather themselves to protest, Nigerian army and police will come and shoot them. It's in the country. It go tire all of us, it go tire. Am I like, if they manage to like protest like enter, Nigerian army, if they feel they are carrying me, and Nigerian police, they will shoot citizens. It's in the country, it go tire all of us together. Yeah, what tonight? Now in the morning. Carry go, my brother, today.
Jerry says, after Maxwell, I'm just laughing. I hope those who carried... What has this got to do with ballot box and INEC and this one? But I'll still read it. Are not affected by the hike in fuel. I hope police and INEC have special petrol station. They still buy at 165. The ordinary citizen are the cause of their problem.
How much do I buy now? 591 now.
I hope you filled your tank.
Pastor, where is the money from? When my salary cannot buy me fuel in a month, what am I working for, Maxwell? You see, like the last caller told you, those. Hello, Maxwell?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Yes, just like the last caller said. You know, somebody said, a very prominent man in this country, when Tinubu came to campaign the first time, before the primaries, said he want to continue the good work of Buhari. A very prominent man that I used to like in those days came and said, what is the work of Buhari? You want to continue? And somebody said, you want to continue the work of Buhari. And that is the some wicked, the first corner. And suddenly overnight, this same man started supporting Tinubu. What do you expect, Maxwell? I told you this crop of politicians require Jerry Lawrence treatment. 100 people. Let what happened in Ghana happen in Nigeria.
No. Dr. Chris, don't go there. Don't go there.
Okay, I won't go there. Okay, I withdraw. I withdraw. But what is this all about? Now, coming to the owners of filling station, you can imagine, they have not bought the new price, right? And they have quickly increased their fuel. I was just driving East West Road down to Airport Road. So you can imagine, most of the filling stations are no longer selling. Some have hyped their own to 600 and something, some to 590 something. But I tell you one thing, if you ask Nigerians to vote today, for those who want the man I mentioned is them kind of treatment, almost 90% of Nigerians will tell you they want that kind of treatment to our politicians. Our politicians are heartless. They don't like us. They don't love us. All they like is their selfish interest. Woe to them that have put us into this kind of mess. I didn't vote Tinubu. I have no regrets for not voting for him. Thank God. I wanted him to prove me wrong, but he still proved me right. That he's not a good leader. Well, I wish Nigeria luck.
Thank you very much, Doc. Divine One of this says, where are those data boys who defend APC and Tinubu? These politicians subject us into poverty and bribe few people with 10,000 naira to defend them. That money used in buying bulletproof cars for the lawmakers can be used in paying fuel subsidy, and Nigerians are quick to adjust. We adjust to negative things. Most people are eating twice a day. Some are eating once in a day. Chai, politicians, pity or small now. The filling stations are shutting down because of the decision of one man. When the blind lead the blind, pit be the end point. We will miss Buhari soon. If you wisdom, that's why why are the filling stations shutting down? Where is the increment coming from? Since NNPC is no more the sole importer, we have 2 cargoes that have landed. Is it not supposed to crash the price? Well, Max, good afternoon. Why is the government refusing to talk of revamping our refineries at Jalkuta Steel, Basita Sugar Industries, oil palm plantations, textile mills, Peugeot Automobile, Volkswagen of Nigeria, SCOA Assembly Plant? Yes. At, how do you call it now? We used to have SCOA somewhere close to State Fire Service. Just close to the flyover, Mile 1 flyover, right? if I'm not mistaken. You talk about intensive job creation, improved electricity supply, reduced cost of governance, etc., security for farmers. These will bring down prices. Instead, they are chasing shadows of salary increase, palliatives that will only benefit them and increase inflation. Please, Max. Good afternoon, Max. I'm happy that there is no APC, PDP, and Labour Party market separately. We are all suffering it. We are the people that are saying Jagaban, Jagaban. Welcome to suffering number one. It's called Preamble of Suffering. Simeon, it says, please, Max, remember when one of the former public office holders said, we'll miss Buhari. It don't they happen, no. We never see anything yet. Simeon, thank you. Good day, Sir Max. I love your program. Please tell President Tinubu he should fix our refineries. That's the only way out. If our refineries are working automatically, the price of fuel will drop and the price of goods will drop as well. Peter Obi is the only person that can fix this country. I would suggest for peaceful protest. Says, thank God I didn't vote APC. President Tinubu has nothing to offer. Bright, you sent in that one. Will Peter Obi do magic? Max, I have told people that Tinubu as a president in Nigeria will pay hell in terms of tax. Max, it is indeed his turn. Let all of us enjoy it. Ifeanyi Chukwumodu. Good afternoon.
Lucky Maxwell.
It's good to have you. Welcome. Go ahead. Gift.
Thank you, my brother. Anybody who is trying to bully people by calling and trying to abuse people who are in support of Tinubu, I have my right to support Tinubu. And I must tell you, is Tinubu the owner of the filling stations? If they're asking that question, why is it that they are shutting down? Was it Tinubu that asked them to shut down? And let me remind us, people went to National Assembly, the time of PIE, before it became that very, from PID to PIE, and act now as we speak. Tinubu good luck, or even if it is people that they are dreaming of that will never even happen. Let me tell all of us that you cannot do otherwise. But right now, no president can tell any police station on how to sell or what will happen. We know what has played out in that very sector. So it's not about Mr. President. Why are they shutting down? That is the question. I'm not ready.
No, I also asked, why is it that NNPC is not saying anything? NNPC is not saying anything. You know, you recall, Mr. President said subsidy was gone, right? Now, subsidy that they have paid for covered till June. Immediately, NNPC increased. Nobody said anything. Who accounts for between May 29 and June 31? Where is the money?
Let me tell you
as at that point when NNPC increased to 513 or 511, 513, maybe people had just settled that, okay, since they've removed subsidy, this is the price we will be buying for. Now, few weeks down the line, Ipman came on board and said, we might buy fuel at 700. Nobody said anything. Nigerians started reacting. Bam! Before you know it now, we are buying at 600 plus. Nobody has also said anything.
Lucky Maxwell, each man, they are 100% right. Go and read that very act. Then you understand why each man is sounding that way. Nobody is controlling that price here in Nigeria. We should all understand these things. People snatch ballot box. Your own presidential candidate has been supported in his own place. People did same. So don't come and bully people not to speak their minds or not to think of what is right. Let me tell us, nobody can go there to tell this very petroleum sector what will happen. As far as I'm concerned, to speak.
All right.
Government does not have the power to do anything in that sector because why? Everybody went to National Assembly through their own representatives and they passed that very bill and the president signed it into law. So what do you expect Mr. President to go and do and to tell these people, please sell the fuel 120 naira? There is nobody cannot do that anymore.
Right. Thank you.
Government cannot control. That is the truth. So trying to put people, this is what they are doing in even internet.
All right. Thank you.
It is very bad.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Maxwell.
Yes, good to have you, Obed.
Thank you very much. Sorry, my call cut before.
Yes, go ahead.
Maxwell, if anybody tell you that we shouldn't call Tinubu on what Nigerians are passing through, the person is a liar. You understand? What you are saying, Maxwell, how can a president, you just come into a podium when you are inaugural speech, the only thing you could say is to inflict hardship on Nigeria without any measure that you have put in place. You understand? We were saying that this product is very essential. It affects everything on the economy. Immediately the product goes up, every other in the economy is affected. And somebody is telling you that we should not come to worry. I don't understand people reason. Look, despite the fact that most of us we are blindfolded with political correlation, we must be able to understand the pains and agonies of Nigeria. For crying out loud, I bought way at the rate of 640 naira, and you're telling me that I shouldn't come to worry? Tinubu. So whose government was in power? Is it not APC? The same APC that was in power. The APC are not over to APC, so we shouldn't call the president because you are from Bayelsa. I don't understand.
No, Obed. No, Obed. I wouldn't want you to take it, probably against anyone.
What I'm saying, Maxwell, is to amount of beating a child and he doesn't want the child to cry. Nigerians are crying because of the pain, because of the doldrum, the precarious situation that we find ourselves. And somebody is calling for somewhere else telling us for the president. So what would we call the president? What are the president put in place? What are you put in place? Maxwell, is the president talking about the refinery? Has he ever hear anything about the refinery coming from the president?
Well, I also asked that question. Why is the president not talking about the refineries?
Have you heard anything like that, Maxwell?
No, not at all. All right. Thank you, Obed.
We have never said anything like that. No comment about how to visit the refinery.
Thank you, sir.
We haven't said anything till now. All we are hearing is hike in this, hike in electricity, hike in you want to withdraw money, and every other thing, hike in petrol. And somebody said we shouldn't call the president. Look, we are joking in this country.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Obed.
The president is talking because Nigeria is a very quiet country. Because right now, something would have happened somewhere.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, in UK, if you're not aware, the resident doctors are on strike. I don't know if they've called it up now. What did Rishi Sunak do? When I talk about leadership, everything rises and falls on leadership. Recently, they decided to raise the prices of visas and every other thing for immigrants who are coming to the UK. The National Health Service is also complaining that their pay is small, even in spite of the fact that it's quite, but of course they pay tax. What did the Prime Minister do? They said, okay, we need to source a fund to ensure that we pay our doctors. So for immigrants who are going to the UK, in case you don't know, everything you're going to pay is higher now. The funds they will get, the additional funds, they will gather it and use it to pay their doctors. They did not task their citizens because they know that their inflation is already high. They are saying their inflation that is about 10.4, 10.6 thereabout is high. Ours, on paper, is 20 point something. More than double of theirs, right? So the president must come and say, this is the reason why we're having this. Maybe through the NNPC. These are the reasons. Now we will ask, how can we solve the problem? That's where solution comes. As a leader, when there's a problem, you must think of a solution. You must think of a solution. Reptiles, for instance, are entering a compound. Why is it that reptiles are entering this compound? You check around, you see bushes. What do? We clear those bushes. Some people say you put carbide around. Maybe you clear the bushes, put carbide around. Naturally, the reptiles will just cease. So leaders prefer solution to problems. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. I want to start by saying good morning
to Nigeria. All Nigeria, good money. Good money to two indigenous or Bayelsa State.
No, sir. I wouldn't want to. Yes. Let's leave individuals. Let's just discuss the issues.
No problem. Master, I will draw it.
Go ahead, sir.
There is no need of us deceiving ourselves. We have entered. We say we have entered. It's just the beginning, We have, in fact, but I thank God for one thing, that it is everybody that is seeing it. Not well. Even if they go up selling this fuel, 5,000 naira, we will still live. We are not going to die. But because, when we are saying all these things from the beginning, somebody said he's not supposed to blame anybody. It's just like two coaches that brought out their team to play a match. The way you interpret your titles might give you victory over the other person. It is the same football that both of you will use. It is the same pitch. But one person will get victory at the end. It goes to the way you interpret your titles and the formation that you use. How you are going to defend, how you are going to distribute, how you are going to attack, and how you are going to put the ball inside net. It matters. If what you don't have, you are not going to give up what you don't have. What you don't have, pass you. So this is just the beginning. And that is the reason why I started by saying good morning. We will turn. In fact, it will keep on hammering on us. It's all of us. I'm ready for this, so I'm ready. And I want everybody to get ready for the worst, because the worst is coming. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Someone just asked, which way Nigeria? I don't understand. But that's much we can take on the show. But like I've said, leaders prefer solutions to problems. And for leaders to prefer solutions to problems, they should be ready to step on toes. If your gutter in your street is blocked and the chairman of the street says, we are having flooding, what do? We need to clear these gutters. One, we need to hire boys that will clear it. If we can't clear it, you have to pay them. What that means is that you also need trucks to move the debris. The chairman of the street will say, okay, everybody compound contributes to so. Some people wouldn't want to contribute, but you need to use force to get them to contribute, to ensure that you hire those boys, clear the gutters, get the truck, clear the debris, the street will be free, water will flow. At the end of the day, everybody will enjoy. So if any leader, governor, president wants to make any meaningful impact, he himself needs to have a good conscience. And then the person must be ready to step on toes. That's if he is even clean. When you step on toes, you clear the way. And then at the end of the day, everybody will enjoy. That's just the bit I can say. Thank you very much. The sports gang will be coming up next. But buckle up for the days ahead. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, if it will hit 1,000 naira or probably 1,500. I heard a pound is 1,020 naira, 1,030 naira. So if you have 1,000 pounds now, you're a big boy. You can buy a whole village. I'm just joking though. Good afternoon.
Are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
This is what we've waited for. The showdown. The fastest men in the world.
Hearts racing.
One light, two lights. They're backing off and backing.
Pulse rising.
Who will come out on top? He'll take 3 lines more. Powerful, strong. Time, Tyson Gay right.
Catch the sports game on Sports Attack Mondays through Fridays.
Let's talk football. Let's talk football.
What a devastating strike!
Football is a leisure game.
Sports is actually my job.
Football is boring.
That's not true. It's way more important than that.
What a wonderful goal! Fantastic strike!
As far as I'm concerned, sports is all about passion.
Sports Attack. Weekdays 7:30 a.m. and Today Sports Live 3 p.m. Weekends 1 p.m. to 6 p.m.
For all you need to know in the world of sports, leave the dial on Today 95.1 FM.
My name is Gianni Infantino, FIFA president. For the best of sports, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Hello, my name is Kanu Wanko, aka Papilo. For the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
Who's the musician? Fato. Who's the technician? Who's the producer? We they do bad things for good reasons, you know. I know you know. And we they do good things for bad reasons, you know. I know you know. We no keep pensing, we no keep malice. Yeah, we just wanna have some fun tonight. We are the happy people. We are the world. I dare with you. Location, send your location to me. And I dare with you. Location, send your location to me. And I shoot
Sports radio station. My name is Victor Oriahi. I'm your favorite melanin sports presenter. And on the menu today, we're going to be discussing about the NFF technical director, Augustine Eguavo, saying Coach Randy Waldrum has apologized for his outburst against the federation. About head coach of Remo Stars, Daniel Ogumodede, he's been fined 250,000 naira by the organizers of Niger Super 8 for inappropriate conduct. For the NFF president, Alhaji Ibrahim Musa Gusau is charged chairman and members of the newly constituted boards of the Nigerian National League, the Nationwide League One, and the Nigeria Women Football League to come up with feasible plans and marketing strategies that will take Nigeria's domestic football to new heights. So that's what we're going to be looking into today. And of course, I've got the guys right here in the studio to do justice on the stories. We'll start off with the Duchess of Sports. Bless that down amongst men. Ezineoti, you're welcome to the show.
Good afternoon to you, Victor. Good afternoon to my colleagues in the studio and to you out there, lovely listeners. It's normal. On Tuesdays, I'm always blessed among the men.
All right. We have the sexy Henry Ogugo, right? Henry Ogugo is in the studio.
I'm shocked again.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Victor. Good afternoon to my colleagues and our listeners out there. Great to be here. But I know I'm sexy, right? So
you're sexy and you know it.
Ivan Eddie is also here, the midfield maestro. Welcome to the show, Ivan.
Yeah, good afternoon, Victor. Good afternoon to my colleagues here in the studio. Good afternoon to you, our lovely listener. Nice to be on the show today.
And Chikusite is also in the building. Welcome, Chuks.
Victor, good afternoon. Good afternoon to my colleagues here. Good afternoon, Padako City. Good to be back.
All right, well, the show, as you know, is designed to be interactive, and that's why we've got our feedback platforms. Text and WhatsApp is 0701 933 9962. Again, 0701 933-9962. That is the number to send in your text or your WhatsApp messages to. Of course, we're going to be throwing open the phone lines later on so we can get to hear from you directly on the show. Let's start off from the Super Falcons of Nigeria with Coach Randy Waldrum.
Who's the musician? Fato. Who's the technician? Who's the producer? We they do bad things for good reasons, you know. I know you know. And we they do good things for bad reasons, you know. I know you know. We no keep passing, we no keep malice. Yeah, we just gonna have some fun tonight. We are the happy people. We are the world. I dare with you. Location, send your location to me. Then I dare with you. Location, send your location to me. Then I shoot it, Macha,
All right, we'll start off with Super Falcons. As technical director of the Nigeria Football Federation, Augustine Eguavon, claimed Super Falcons head coach Randy Waldrum has apologized for his recent comments against the body. Waldrum and the NFF have recently engaged in a war of words over the Super Falcons team list and preparation for the 2023 Women's World Cup, which kicks off in just a couple of days. Eguavon, however, said the 66-year-old has apologized for his outbursts, telling reporters, "I am not comfortable with what I've been reading. I spoke with him. He apologized. He said he didn't mean it that way. He felt if he speaks with a couple of people, things will change, but it is not like that here. Nigeria is different and Africa is different, but we have to do the right thing now. I've told him to just remain focused and forget about every other thing. Then as soon as the World Cup ends, we know what to do, because everything coming up every now and then is a distraction for him and the team." Of course, the Super Falcons are currently camping in Brisbane ahead of the World Cup. So, Yvonne, let me start off with you. Randy Waldrum apologized. That's the reason why Randy Waldrum still has his job, and that's the reason why we'll be going on from there.
It's funny, isn't it, for us to believe that he apologized and Nigerians didn't get to see, because when you apologize, you send an official letter. It's not for you to say, "I call you on phone and I said I've apologized." You have to send an official letter apologizing to the federation and everybody that must have felt insulted. But again, it's not needed, you know. But especially when he makes the comment of Nigeria is different and Africa is different, it is not needed. We cannot continue to do the wrong things and claim it is right. We cannot continue to do illegal things and claim legality towards such. The higher the stage, the better Africa becomes for countries who know what they are doing. For instance, I've not heard that the Moroccan FA, the Egyptian FA, that of South Africa, that of even Libya are owing their coaches, or Algeria. I've not heard that they owe their coaches. I've not heard such, that they have issues with match bonuses, or at the end of the day, players, one or two get paid and the other one doesn't get paid, and they'll explain to the player that his account number is not going through. I've not heard that. So it's not like Nigeria is different and Africa is different. No, Nigeria is just different and peculiar in its own style and ways of doing things, which is definitely very, very wrong. And again, it goes to show us what myself and many others hold as sentiment in this particular Randy Waldrum NFF issue, and that is the NFF has skeleton in their cupboard. Because what that man did, what he said, if it were club sides or other national teams, he's not returning. In fact, the day he returns is to have a meeting with the CEO, and by mutual consent or an eventual sack will take place, and he goes. But for us wanting Randy Waldrum, expecting Randy Waldrum to be the one to throw in the towel, I think we are joking, because he has gone as far as disparaging the NFF as a body. He's ridiculed that institution, and we've also seen back and forth war of words. So what stops us? Because he's pushed us to the limit. In fact, he even asked about the $960,000. That's enough indictment to the part of the NFF to take action. But none of that has been done. So it goes a long way to show that the NFF may not be as clean as we think they are in this particular matter. And that's why this particular issue has been treated with kid's glove. I'm not surprised it has happened. It's Nigeria. Everything gets swept under the carpet. Just like the ego of the Minister of Sport was massaged by, what's his name again? Musa Kida. With I'm sorry. And the ban on basketball was lifted. Look at the after effect of what we are seeing now. We are now doing open tryouts for players to come and try their hands so that we take them to FIBA.
We have a squad list, by the way.
Our squad list, yes. Thank goodness that some of the players have still joined. You know, a few, I think almost 4 or 5 of them have joined. But are they going to be playing with that same enthusiasm? And how good are they going to be at the Afro basket? So we love getting our egos massaged. So possibly he must have made a direct call to somebody, but it definitely shows that the NFF on their own part have something to tell Nigerians.
Certainly the NFF will have something to tell Nigerians. Still talking about this, Austin Eguavon says that he felt if he speaks with a couple of people, things will change. Now, this is not Randy Waldrum saying this. It's the NFF technical director saying that Waldrum believed if he spoke with a couple of people, things would change. Now, for Waldrum to have gotten to the extent of having interviews with foreign media bodies or podcasters and all, it certainly shows that he most definitely had already or had tried to have a conversation with them. In fact, one of the interviews he said they stopped taking his calls. They stopped taking his calls, they stopped taking his mails, they were not responding to him anymore. So for finally the technical director, if Eguavon had answered his calls earlier, probably Waldrum would have gone to that extent. But then, just like Ival said, Eguavon saying Nigeria is different, Africa is different. What could he mean or insinuate by that statement? So we are supposed to just swallow things as it happens and never speak about it.
And that's what he means. It means in Africa, while you're suffering, you should be smiling. You don't need to come out and say it. Just like how my transport now have increased. Because I don't know what to say, but I just know that I'll surely come to work. Miracle, no, they tell Jesus. So it's a thing that happens with it. But first off, I don't think Coach Randy Waldrum apologized. I know how our egos can be, especially an African man. With all that happened, Randy at least would have seen one sentence or where he was doing it, out of the interviews he had. He must have given us a clear-cut angle to know that he truly apologized. But that's going through. I don't think it's a part of what Augustine Eguavon is saying, because him coming to say that he felt if he talked to 1 or 2 people, things will change. Coach Randy Waldrum has already done a lot of background checks before he became the coach of the Super Falcons. He already knew that Nigeria owes coaches ahead of even before he took that role. Victor, if you can remember, he said he knew that we owe coaches. So that's why he still made sure that he kept his job as the coach of the US team. Yeah. That's Pittsburgh women's university team. So you can't say he felt he needed to speak out. Was there a means of communication? Yes, he reached out to the NFF and no one really talked to him. Although I think they still had a little bit of conversation, because if you can remember what the NFF president said when he talked about having the home base camp, that he might not even, that they saw it's not useful because he most likely will not choose the players that apply that trade in the country. So those are different things. But saying that it's in Africa, no. Let's not forget that Super Eagles coach Jose Pesero, throughout most of his career, he was being owed. At least we can't forget Venezuela, we are owing him. Did he come out to speak? No, because there was a binding contract. There are things that goes on. All he had to do was just throw in the towel. I've resigned my role. But for Coach Randy Waldrum, it's a different scenario. The man had nothing to lose. He has already qualified the team to the World Cup, knowing that as he has taken us to the World Cup, it will be very difficult for us to even sack him, because which nation want to bring a coach in a tournament and let go of the other one they have? Yes, we just have to let it lie, but it's just a sad thing, and it's very disheartening that we have set a wrong precedent for any other coach that will take up that position, it be this female, the senior national side, or that's for the male or the female, because for anything that happens, a coach that comes next can look back at this and say, after all, Randy did this, I can also take that role, for the fact that we didn't find a way to bring in the authority to instill that we are the one that brought you as a coach, we are your employers. There is a limit to at which you can go with it. If I have any issue with the station, I can't just come out on air and say no. It's either I go through the process or I just throw in the towel and say I'm not working again. I think that's the way it should have been, but I still believe that there was no apology from Coach Randy Wardrobe.
All right, and let's now bring this or marry this to the matters on the pitch. It's been a quiet couple of days, or the last 7 days. Randy Wardrobe has not dropped any other bombshell. Looks like the team now focused on the assignment right there in Australia and New Zealand. It's just 3 days to the start of the FIFA Women's World Cup. 2 days. You think? 2 days, actually.
That's true.
So you think the calm in the storm might just profit us at the end of the day?
No. Even if there was calmness before the storm, there was probably no hope with the way our football is being run currently. Yeah, we can look at Ireland and say we can beat Ireland. We can look at Canada and Australia and say probably one of those games could be winnable, or we can get something out of it. But with all the ruckus and everything that's going on just before the World Cup, all these things culminate and also affects a team's performance and psychologically going into the World Cup. And we also have to look at our preparation before the World Cup. It looks shoddy. It doesn't look good enough. You have teams, you have Morocco playing friendlies, proper friendlies, and you have Zambia playing proper friendlies. You have South Africa themselves playing proper friendlies, and we're playing Queensland Lions FC.
And we beat them
8-1. Only God knows the team will beat 8-1, how good they are. So sorry to say it, but it's the truth. Let's say it as it is. It's actually funny, and that result could actually be very deceitful. You see a lot of people carry it around, a lot of media let's carry it around like, we beat an Australian team 8-1. How good is the Australian team? Let's ask ourselves that.
They've saved their best players. Their best players, they are in camp.
So we look at all these things, look at all the factors. The preparation is not even the best. So if we do go far, we have to give the girls and even the coach and the wardrobe himself a lot of kudos, because the NFF is not the one handling the team. He's the one handling the team, and he's the one seeing all the shenanigans and all the rubbish that comes with being at the helm of affairs or being at the job. So let's just watch and keep our fingers crossed, and as Nigerians hope and pray that our country does well, because as much as you might close your eye or resign yourself to the fate that Nigeria might not do well, somewhere deep down you still want your country to do well. It's as simple as that. When that day comes, you'll see all of us in front of the TV shouting and screaming and castigating and cursing us and doing whatever, but because we are Nigerians, we want the Super Falcons to do well. But you look at what has happened in the build-up to the World Cup, and you just shake your head and say, we just take anything as we see it. Ireland, who are debutants, could end up beating us with the way they are, with the way it's going. And we did see the report about the physicality of the Irish side. So those are other factors you have to look at also. But on ground, we have a team that's better than theirs on paper, but how well will we actually do? We look at Canada, we look at Australia. We did beat Canada in 2011, if I'm not mistaken, by a goal to nil in the 2011 World Cup. The last time we played Australia, we played out a 3-3 draw with Australia. That was in 2015. It's possible we can get those results. We just have to put
It's New Zealand that's in our group.
Is it? No, it's Australia. It's Australia. We played New Zealand in the friendly. We played out a 3-3 draw with Australia in 2015. So we've shown in the past that we can get results against these sides, and they've always been powerhouses in women's football. So it is possible, and especially when you look at the firepower we have. Oshoala is there. Onumonu is also there. She scores goals for her size, but I don't know, it's a bit of a struggle to replicate it for the Falcons, for the Super Falcons. Rashidat Ajibade is also there. Even Uchenna Kanu, we saw her exploits in Mexico. She's now in the US. She scores. Desire Paranozie is one person you can always rely on to always put the ball into the back of the net. So we have the quality to actually hurt any side. We have to bring our A game and just hope that what happens or what happened before the World Cup, the whole ruckus doesn't affect, but it's very difficult seeing how it won't affect the performance going into the World Cup.
Victor, I think for the storm being calm for the moment, I think it will slightly profit us a little bit. before even going to the World Cup, we didn't give a Super Falcons a chance. He can't go into the World Cup with all these back and forth issues with the coach and the federation of the team. So we are expecting, in as much as we should beat Ireland, the debutants, and maybe get a draw against Canada and see how we go against Australia. But looking at this team on paper, I think Australia side by side, we have much for them. The squad in Australia, apart from Sam Kerr, look at other names to pick in that Australia team, I can't mention any other one apart. It's the truth, but the only thing I think the team on paper is good to play anything at the World Cup. But the problem was the process. That's the really I can't really say with all these issues surrounding the Super Falcons. I think they can shake it a little bit because of the preparation. For the past 7 days, we have not seen any other bombshell. So I think it's already there. This landslide is already there, but I think the failure will not be much, but we'll fail. That is it.
Is it 49?
It's like getting 47 or 48.
Somebody got 9 over 100 and you got 36. It's still failed. Both of you are failed. There's nothing like the failure is not going to be too much. See, the truth is, this Nigerian team, when you put them side by side with every other African nation, you notice that we are the least in athleticism. Like athleticism, how we run, how we put in, the physicality.
Our pace.
The pace is slower. If South Africa were
Zambia
to be in this group,
very fast.
I would possibly get some things out of this game. Zambia, the same thing.
Yes.
Morocco.
Naturally, the Southern Africans tend to play football at a faster pace than us, even in the men's game.
So you bring the pace that we've got with our aging players as well, because some of them are close to that 30 or within the 30 or 40 range, and you put them with an Australian side that just got a victory over France. France played all their first team players in that particular game, and Australia would have won that game more than a goal. You understand? So it's going to be difficult. The thing is, let's just map out our strategy, because for some teams now, maybe Premier League or so, when you come in as an underdog, you just look at the point you can get in the start of the season and mark them. And then that point you get during the course of the season is a bonus point. So look for the point, I can get this one. If you can beat the Republic of Ireland, that will be good enough. Look for a point where you can get against Canada. Because I feel it's only Canada we could go and maybe possibly pull a draw. But against Australia, no chance.
Home support.
No, man, as the home support, the quality is there. Imagine Sam Kerr.
Beat England.
Imagine Sam Kerr, running at on the shoulder of the last defender. Just imagine, and you have possibly maybe Onomeibi as a last defender, or Ashley Plumpton.
The Plumpton might do a good job.
Plumpton what? She will be her for space and power.
They face off in the WSL.
And Sam Kerr is a class act. It's a class art.
All right, guys. Let's move on now as we talk about the Nigeria Super 8. Head coach of Remo Stars, Daniel Ogumodede, has been fined 250,000 naira by the tournament organizers for inappropriate conduct in the final match on Sunday at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Lagos. Now, this was disclosed in a statement issued by the organizers, Fly Kite Productions, yesterday. The fine said is on account of Ogumodede's decision to order his players off the pitch over an officiating call he disagreed with. Now, the players, however, ignored the coach's order and continued the match, which they lost 4-2 on penalties after a 1-0 draw in regulation time. The statement said, we find unacceptable the conduct of Mr. Daniel Ogumodede, head coach of Remo Stars, in ordering his players to leave the pitch in protest against an officiating decision in the final match of Nigeria Super 8. His conduct, which displeased many top football authorities in attendance, was witnessed by a continent-wide audience watching on television. While we understand that there may be grounds for disagreeing with refereeing decisions, ordering a pitch walk-off is an inappropriate way to address such. The rules and regulations document handed to every participating club states the process for disputing such calls and does not include leaving the pitch in protest. Mr. Ogumodede's club acknowledged the receipt of the document, which also prescribes sanctions for officials deemed by the Nigeria Super 8 Technical Advisory to have erred. Had the players not shown maturity, which Mr. Ogumodede should epitomize, the tournament would have been brought to an inconclusive end and into disrepute, as well as create a potential for fan violence. In view of this, we have imposed a fine of 250,000 naira on Mr. Ogumodede for his inappropriate action.
Who's the musician?
All right, Henry. your thoughts on this one, on the sanction? We were watching the game. Sadly, we did not witness what happened at that point in time, real time, because
Alcaraz was
about to win now, and at that point in time, we had to, we had to choose which is the greater.
It was Alcaraz.
It was Alcaraz, so we had to go on that. And then coming back to see players were shouting, it was just chaos right there at the Bobolaji Johnson Arena with Fly Kite Production slamming Ogumondede with that sanction.
Well deserved. We see a lot of refereeing issues or bad calls or faulty calls from referee all over the world.
Sorry, and again, do they have the right to, knowing fully well that it's a pre-season tournament?
Even if it's not,
there were
rules and regulations. There were things that were guiding the operations of the whole tournament and all that stuff. And a lot of Nigerians actually paid a keen eye or keen attention to the Super 8, even if it was a pre-season tournament. I mean, we sat down. I know I sat down and watched a lot of games, although I didn't.
Missed the finals.
I missed the finals. I didn't watch the finals. I won't lie about that. I had to. Is a replay I actually saw of the finals, but there was a lot of keen interest in the Super 8, and you go ahead and do something like that. It's actually funny. It shows how we run our football or how we handle things or situations in this country pertaining our football. It's a bad refereeing call, all fine and good. You keep on playing the game. We do not see Jurgen Klopp tell his players to walk off the pitch when there's a back call. We don't see Mikel Arteta tell his players to walk off the pitch when there's a back call. You can go and remonstrate to the fourth official and let your grievances be known. But I mean, that's it. It ends there. The players, you shouldn't, as a coach, order your players to walk off the pitch, because that's poor sportsmanship. And what we try to encourage in football or in any sports is proper sportsmanship, and you're just going totally against that, and it's unethical. You have a grievance, you report at the end of the game, or you let the fourth official know you did not like or you do not like what is happening. So I mean, it's well deserved, and it's things like this that regularly happen in the NPFL. Because of it's not on TV, we don't get to see it on a regular basis. I mean, we all remember Plateau United versus Enyimba last season, when Plateau United scored that late goal 2-1 in Jos, the Rockos it cost before the game actually or eventually went on.
Remember the one in Adoke we saw together?
Yes,
Abia
Warriors and Rivers United.
Yeah.
I mean,
coach of Abia Warriors, that was Imama. Yes, asked the players.
You don't do that. Yes, the call it can be painful. It is painful, but I mean, you do not do that. It's like when you say every work has his own hazard. It's one of the hazards of the job. So I mean, you just accept it or take it like that, and you move on. And you try and make sure that such errors do not happen again. You let the governing body, let the refereeing body know that this shouldn't happen again, and you move on. People have lost points due to faulty calls. It's not something that doesn't happen. We frown against faulty calls. We feel referees should be more vigilant, but these are human beings we are talking about. Errors do happen, and we've had no issue with the officiating in the Super 8 from the first game down to the last game. There was no issue with the officiating.
But the call was wrong.
It was wrong, no doubt about that. But I mean, we're talking about human beings. Often machines, they tell you there's room for error. No machine is 100% efficient. Same with humans. No human being is 100% efficient. There's that room for error when you're doing things or dealing with it. Even when machines or even computers themselves come into play. So I mean, there's nothing you get 100%. It's as simple as that. So I mean, the action from Ogumodede is what I have an issue with. It's a poor act and it shows poor character. I think Remo Stars themselves need to caution the man and they need to fine him themselves, because that's very poor. So you're telling me on the continent, if you see a wrong call, you tell your players to walk off the field?
Because Remo Stars will be in the CAF Champions League.
Yes, no, CAF will not take that lightly. They will punish you immediately, and the fine or the punishment will be worse than this. He could have a touchline ban, and he could be talking about paying in thousands of dollars, not even thousands of naira. So I mean, so we need to put our house in order and let's get it right here first before we go out there and actually strut our stuff. So I mean, better needs to be done from the man.
Well, Victor, it's one of our characteristic, constant feature in the Nigerian league, in Nigerian football system. In fact, from the NNL to the Nationwide League to the NPFL, immediately there's a wrong call against you, your players are coming out. You're telling them to come out. Possibly with what the organizers of the Super 8 have done, we have to really put an eye on that in the next league season, and it should be one of the heaviest punishments, because we've seen coaches cause games to come to a halt, and the time still reads, and you now say, why are they playing 100 minutes? Why are they playing 110 minutes? Sometimes they're not
Because of
playing.
issues like this.
The game has been stopped because of issues like this, back and forth. This thing happens. Arsenal, United, City, Chelsea, Liverpool, they cry out, after a few seconds of trying to get attention of the referee, they go back to play football. Last year, there was a competition I went to see at somewhere around Chuba. The home team were leading, were playing. The visiting team were playing against the home team who reached the final. So the guys with the home team were 2 goals up. Officiating was not going the way of the away team, so they had a penalty call and the possible red card. The referee didn't give it. The coach of the away side, who were 2 goals down, got angry and left the secondary school pitch. Left. Those guys played without a coach and turned the tide around and won that game 4-2.
I mean, Remo Stars themselves, because they were a goal down, the goal was chopped off, but the equalizer came after the coach's decision. So if the coach had said, well, we're not playing again, I mean, we wouldn't even have gotten into penalty.
But it would have really mad the efforts put in by the Nigeria Super 8 organizers if something like that had happened, if the players had even listened to what coach Daniel Gumode had told them to do. Was the goal a right goal? Definitely a fine goal from Danla, the number 14 player of Remo Stars, but he still found a way to still score again. He was the one that even got them. No, I think the equalizer.
It was Olamilekon that got the equalizer.
Sorry, yes, he led to the because I know it was Sikiri Alimi that put in that strike before that got the assist for that goal. So it would have mad everywhere because we have been looking at this tournament. Imagine when that goal was chopped up, we saw what the fans were doing. They were already throwing in that object into the pitch. If the players had walked off, I think it would have been worse than that because the crowd there. I think I need to commend the organizer. We will not hear anything bad happen to them. It was almost like how we saw that of the Super Eagles World Cup playoff against the Ghanaian side that we lost. But everyone entered that stadium and left peace and calmly. Yes, Remo Stars, but we know that some of this decision could change. It's definitely Daniel Gumede is a human. He felt really bad because that would have really changed the scenario of that game.
Of the game.
It's our style.
No, Victor, for the first time I saw him move his suit. Like the
passion.
If you see him at the end of the game, you won't believe that was Coach Daniel Gumede because it really got to him. Even at the press conference, if you could later you get to listen to what the emotions really build up, but he needs to hold it, or he needs to learn from coach of Sporting Lagos. That's Paul Ofor. I don't know how that man tends to keep his emotion in check until the final whistle of the final blast of the game. But it was really epic. I think you missed anyone that missed that.
So many questions from there because the coach disobeyed, the player disobeyed the coach's instruction.
That's so discipline. We should commend the players.
Commend the players.
PFL players
from Ogumodede, that is like it's childish behavior. It's like when you were a child, they beat you, they say come and eat. I'm not eating, or something goes wrong, and maybe something you're just like, no, I don't want to do it, or like that's just it because we're adults. You expect people to be mature, to act in a mature way because what you're doing it's childish behavior. Let's say it as it is. Like when things are not going your way, you believe, oh, that's the end. I'm throwing in the towel, or come out, it's not going our way, it's not in our favor, then come out, let's go into the locker room, or let's halt the game. No, that's wrong.
And that's one good thing of having a good captain. I think that man, Undoka Junior for Remo Stars, yes, he might have missed a penalty, but the guy is a good leader for that team.
And of course, the organizers did say that they have a technical advisory committee that would review the performance of the officials and of course also sanction the official if they are found to have erred. So we wait to see what the decision of the committee will be because certainly that official certainly erred. But coming to you now, Chukwusite, the massive fans engagement. At a point in time, I kept on asking, did these people buy tickets? It wasn't a thing of
some people. There's one video. I don't know if you saw that when people were entering from the back. We're jumping Nigeria was not killing.
But it was a 10,000 capacity Mobolaji Johnson arena
tickets.
And it was filled up. I can't remember the last time we saw something that was not this super good. I'm talking about Nigerian club football, and it's not maybe CAF competitions, but to see.
I think
the last time I remember a league stadium being full to that level was it when Enyimba played Warri Wolves? Is it to lift the league? Was it
Enugu Rangers?
Enugu Rangers? Yeah.
El Kanemi Warriors
against El Kanemi. The stadium was full to the brim.
But this one was it was massive.
So I mean, can this be sustained? And this is just a preseason tournament. How can it be replicated into the main league? That's the NFL.
Very simple.
When it resumes.
Borrow ideas from the organizers of this. Super
Is it
8.
borrow, copy and paste?
It's borrow. Let's
give us everything.
No, as it stands now, I feel the biggest beneficiary from this particular Super 8 tournament is the IMC. You know, they should look at it and say, we did something with the Super 6. These guys have come and it was a massive upgrade of what we did. What can we learn from them? What can we continue to imbibe in the club size? For example, I feel now the IMC can make it mandatory that we have pre-match conference and post-match conference, or particular days whereby on a Wednesday or Thursday, build up to the Saturday or Sunday games, players would speak, coaches will speak. With that, you get your players more confidence in terms of pressers, because that was a constant feature in this particular tournament, to get them better prepared. Players will now become aware that we have to do this. It's a routine. For Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool and the rest, under 6, under 7, they have their media day where they go and practice how they speak to the media. You know, and that's how you grow the league. That's how you have content out. You know, so teams could now be in charge of mobilizing. Look at what you were able to do in the Super 8. Mobilizing your own state, because already all eyes in various states were glued to Lagos. So if we saw what happened in Lagos and our clubs are back playing here in the league, our clubs mobilizing their little community could also get same number or something better than what they used to achieve in the past. So the IMC should be the biggest beneficiary here. Let their leverage on what the Niger Super 8 organizers have done so far.
Another thing, marketing. How well are you exposing what you're doing or what happened? We watch the Premier League. We say it's football. Some people think the Premier League is just Saturday and Sunday, on Monday or Friday, depending on if they are midweek games or if they are games on Friday and on Monday. But the Premier League is beyond that. There's a show almost every time for you to get glued or get addicted to it. We have Kelly and Wright show. We can go on the fan zone and all those stuff. It's entertainment on its own. It's treated like entertainment. The league should start being treated like entertainment. It's beyond just going to the field on Saturday or on Sunday and just kicking the ball and running around. No, make it entertainment. Put it in people's faces. Constant content should be out there. It's not when there's matches. That's just all we do. Come on, I mean, have highlight. I know
South Africa does a lot of that.
Yeah, I know we could have a situation whereby the leagues are not on TV, but a lot of these matches are actually recorded. You could have a highlight show. You could have things that could actually bring people closer to the leagues, get to know the players, get to see the sort of football that is being played, the sort of goals that are being scored. I mean, Chukwuemeka Obioma scored 16 goals last season. A lot of people don't even know what the goals he scored look like.
Apart from the one in the Super 6.
Yes, that's what people know. A lot of people don't know what the goals he scored look like. It's as simple as that. Most people do not know.
But we know on Saturdays.
Yeah.
See, and a lot of people are raving. If you watch this, but you'll be raving about Okon Saturday because of what we saw.
And the pink hair guy,
Jonathan Aluko.
So I mean, we need to see things like this. I mean, the Bendel Insurance goal would have probably been in our faces every time. I mean, it could have been used as part of the real. Let's say just it was the Nigerian League season. It was during the regular season. It could have been used as part of the intro reels next season. It's things like this. We see Alan Shearer holding his hands up and spreading his hands in an opening theme in the Premier League. Those videos have been there all this while, and they got it and they used it. Package the league well, structure the league better. Look at what was done. We talk about let's go to we partner. The NFF has had a partnership with La Liga for how long, and we've not even been able to learn anything from there. And it's actually very funny. Put the league in order, package the league, create a separate body that is independent of the NFF. That's a league body that is owned 100% by the league clubs. And let's move from there. Let them start making decisions to push the league forward. Be strict with club licensing criteria. That's another major factor, because the club licensing rules are very lax. Look, if we are strict with club licensing, we won't have up to 10 clubs in our league.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that. And it's true. And if we have to start from there to get it right and to be where we should be in football, football should be locally, local football should be footballing wise, then let's do it. Because in the long run, it benefits us. It benefits the Super Eagles. It benefits us as Nigerians, and benefits our eyes and the entertainment aspect of our lives.
But Victor, look at it, for these things for the fans engagement to be sustained, I think it's primarily the job of these clubs themselves. Sporting Lagos, they started which year? 2022. And so from there, the fan base 2021, but the fan base have been massive. Look at how they started. They sell their tickets for games. It's an NNL match. People come to watch it. They also bring some of these stars. We can go and watch Rivers United star. You can bring upcoming, even though we don't know them. I didn't just because people love to be entertained. People love to be glued, and it's a little. People complain that Adoke Mesimeka is so far, but at least we know that you come and see one person that will dance small or one person that will just move around. I know, I'm telling you, because it's free. Even when the gates are thrown open, people still find it difficult to come there. So I think there should be other things that might engage the fans, that will draw them closer to the stadium.
Entice them.
Yes, that's the thing that will happen, because if you keep saying just the football, it's not every fan that goes to the stadium to watch football. Yeah. Some go to look at other things.
All right. Well, let's go to the phone lines to get your thoughts as well. Randy Waldrum, or rather, Austin Eguavon saying Randy Waldrum has apologized and they will settle the issues after the World Cup. What do you make of that statement by Austin Eguavon? And of course, the Niger Super 8 slamming Remo Stars coach with a fine of 250,000 naira for ordering the players to walk off the pitch after a refereeing decision that was against his side. And just like it's been established in the stadium, of course, it was a wrong call from the match official. 0817 00 00951, 0817 000951, or 0810 9510 951. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Victor.
Asna Babatwin, you're welcome.
Yes. There is something I will confirm today. I saw something this morning my screen.
What's that?
Ben Rogers warming up to become Super Eagles coach. Is that possible?
Not possible. Did you say Brendan Rodgers?
Yeah, Brendan Rodgers.
He's the coach of Celtic. He's the coach of Celtic right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Asna Babatwin. Hello, welcome to the show. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Victor, my good friend. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Apostle of Love calling from Aba.
You're welcome. I greet everyone in the studio.
Good afternoon.
You know, I want to thank the organizers of the Super 8. It was a job well done. Whatever they have done should not be swept aside. It will continue. I want to thank Lagos fans. You see why I was complaining about Super Eagles having a event. Lagos has been a very fertile ground for the Nigerian football. Tournament was organized anywhere else, apart from the East also. We can't have that kind of mammoth crowd. You see, when things are done good, people will cherish it. You have fantastic players. In fact, how I wish that my club Eniba will go for that Sporting Lagos goalkeeper, Christian. Fantastic goalkeeper. I'm hearing Kepu that John Noble wants to leave. So we need to replace him with a quality keeper because we're going for the continent. So we have good players in this nation. We need our organizers of football and sports to come up with a game.
All right.
Game. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much, Apostle of Love, for your contribution. Hello, welcome to the show. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you all.
Stella West from Port Harcourt, welcome.
I think the coach Ogunwudede, not actually his intention to disrupt that match. That's what they call, if he stayed in Lagos, that's what they call initial gragra. We just panic, like create small tension, to express anger. But the players refused to honor him. I think that was wrong. is the coach. They're supposed to. I know he will later tell them to go back. Just what Mama did in Qatar. He instructed the players to go back to the pitch and play. You know, some of these referees, you know, we are all human beings. You know, there are some mistakes that is avoidable. You see somebody, they slap, they hit, they want you go say, oh, it's a mistake. No, I'm a human being. So when I react, you know, you don't take only my reaction. You look at the referee, the center referee. You know, look at that call very well. You know, sometimes we trigger some, some problem and we blame it on somebody that, overreacted. But we don't want to look at the fundamental issue of the problem. So another one I want to talk about this Premier League is affecting our league. Because sometimes you find out that Premier League is being played when our matches will be, be playing the pitch. And we are addicted to Premier League to watch. You know, so it's only the person that have the love, so much love for his club that goes to stadium to watch. You know, some people prefer to be on their television, look at the Chelsea, Man U, and all the rest, and read them. You know.
All right.
So I think that is a problem. So the organizers of the league should put a kind of attraction, just like one of your, man said there. That there should be a kind of attraction that will attract people to the stadium. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Stella West from Port Harcourt. Welcome to the show. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Victor.
Simon, you're welcome.
Everybody there. I greet everybody.
Good afternoon.
The truth today is this. In as much I'm not here to at least what the coach did. First of all, I want to say I want to give kudos to the organizers of that Super 8. From Super 6 to Super 8, they tried very, very well. So I want us to also implement every good thing that happened in this from that Super 6 to Super 8. Let them implement it to the main league when the league will start. Then for the coach of Remo Star, yeah, just as the last caller, my chairman said it very well. Yes, not that I supported him. What he did is not that good because official has the final say, you know. But sometimes these officials do frustrate you. You will be provoked to do what you're not supposed to do. I remember the grassroots my team at Wochi then. We played one of the Pastor Bean political competition at the start on there. Our team started Glodek. And in that day, my team needed winning and the Glodek needed draw. When they started protesting, wasting time, the official first of all gave my captain yellow card first. When the match started, he gave me another yellow card. He streamed out. Even when the boy fall at the 18 years, he's supposed to blow penalty, second yellow card. Everybody in the start on that day, we are shouting. Frustrating the team to make sure that match ended that draw. After the team, even the organizers of the competition, both Jaloma and the other ones, they were begging my coach and the chairman of the team that they should, because my coach requesting for them to balance in the money. The 30,000 that they registered that competition with, that they must balance in the money, since they did not want the team to play. So this official, do you know the worst is that one of the refs, this is state ref, he said, so after the first half, he told our team that they should go and bring their AK-47, come and shoot it. That's what he was telling them openly there. So some of all these officials, they do frustrate. But as FIFA rules, he don't just because of them, he tell the players to walk out. Right. Against you. Instead of what the hammer that's supposed to come to them now will just return back to you. So that is not the way. But let them help the team. Okay. Let them help the team. Stop frustrating people. Open up broad day frustration.
All right. Thank you so much, Simon, for Rumodumaya for your contribution. Keep the calls coming in 0810-9510951. Today's Sports Live. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, I don't want to go power from Makabechi.
You're welcome, Godspa.
Yes. Hope I'm speaking to Canada.
No, I think you've got the wrong show. This is Today Sports Live, and it's Victoria here on the mic. Hello, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's Ernest.
All right, Ernest, calling from Ndeli. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you very much. I greet everybody in the studio.
Good afternoon.
I think, let me begin this way. it started on Sunday, and yesterday there was this trend. But if we didn't talk about it, about someone surpassing Ronaldo's record for players like Messi when he was when they unveiled him. So he has a total of 3.5 billion. 3 billion. And it was Ronaldo's time. It was spoken here in today's FM, but yesterday nobody talked about.
Because it's a Nigerian football show.
No, I mean yesterday. It was to talk.
All right, but let's talk about today because we don't have so much time.
For today, they say our coach has apologized. What is the proof that they have apologized, or are they just talking to the team and just so that we believe what they are saying? See, if someone has apologized, it's going to be a voice or maybe a written note. Where we see that, but this one, you don't just come out and tell us that someone apologized. We are not kids anymore. Please, stop giving us. Then for the kind of football they are playing, not that we don't have talent. We do have talent here, but our administration is the problem. So if the players are well managed, I think we have raw talent here, and they will do well. So at least Super 8 and Super 6 has shown us the kind of areas of stars we have in this country. The problem is the management. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ernest from Ndele. Let's take some messages. Someone says, greetings, house. Indeed, our league has to step up. They really have to. Personally, for me, I don't like the league's method of fixing games at 4 p.m. at weekdays. Who go leave work or office by that time, can't they watch match? A league that isn't organized, where after a game, you're likely going to see a fight from the side that lost. For the Super Falcons coach, good one. They said he has come out to apologize according to them. Me, I know you anything, no. TK from Port Harcourt sending that message. And okay, this message says it's disrespectful to say the Remo Stars coach was childish. And he went for that to say, no wonder Nigeria refs know they go far in life, only in Nigeria local championships. This message says, come on, what are you guys saying? That was a very poor decision from the ref. And the linesman, they don't do they drink Gary, they know they see well again.
Give them money on.
That singular act cost them the title. Them supposed drill those officials. Okay, and he went for that to saying that he feels that the officials should probably be probed. All right, thank you very much. This one says, my name is Savior. Please update me on Chelsea transfer. Sorry, we cannot do that today. It's a Niger football show. And this one says, my name is Young Sammy from Bayelsa. It's my first time. I'm happy with the Nigerian football. With the way Nigerian football is growing. We can't be the giants of Africa and have a bad league. And of course, there was a question there for Ival. And Ival says he's not the one you're talking about, you know. All right, let's move on. As President of the Nigerian Football Federation, Musa Gusau, yesterday charged chairmen and members of the newly constituted boards of the Nigerian National League, the Nationwide League One, and the Nigerian Women's Football League to come up with feasible plans and marketing strategies that will take Nigeria's domestic football to new heights. At the inauguration of the boards inside the conference room of the NFF, Gusau tasked the boards to spring forth clear plans and how to sustain organization of matches and generally fulfill its responsibilities before the commencement of the new season. And of course, the responding His Excellency Silas Agara, Mr. George Aluo, and Ms. Nkechi Obi, the chairpersons of the different league boards, all promised to work with their various board members to achieve a positive turnaround of the state of Nigeria's domestic game. And just a quick one, Silas Agara,
is a former national governor.
And isn't it? I thought it was with the Karate Federation.
Possible we'll check that up if it's the same person.
Maybe it's a different side.
There was a time that Gusau was having a little bit of confusion here in the studio. The Gusau with Athletics Federation and the Gusau came in from the Zamfara FA, so it could just be a name that's similar. But again, we know that there have been too much emphasis on the top flight league, and we've forgotten that the biggest and the best, or the most important league in every country, are those other leagues behind the top flight league, because that is the conveyor belt. That is where you groom players. That is where you get to coordinate players who can hit that top flight level. When you have a strong second tier, third tier football, then there's excitement at every level. The communities and everybody will have to enjoy what you've got to offer. So these people at the helm of affairs now have got to be creative. We keep talking about sponsorship deals for just the top flight. They can as well get theirs. They can as well put their games on television or possibly on streaming platforms and have us go to see them. Make it more enjoyable, because it is not only the MPFL that they play football. They play football every other place.
All right. Well, I mean, he is the same person, you know.
Okay.
I know in 2017, I remember vividly. 2017, he was already talking about vying for the position of the Karate Federation of Nigeria president, and he did get it. You know, he's been the president of the Karate Federation of Nigeria, and now he's the president of the Nigeria National League. Hope we won't be seeing martial arts.
Shaolin soccer.
Hope we won't be seeing martial arts on the field of play, but. All right, let's just go back to the phone line. 0810-951-0951, 0810-951-0951, and 0817-0000-951. I think we've got a message from the WhatsApp portal, but let's first hear from this caller. Hello, welcome to the show.
Yeah, good afternoon. This is Madu Abuchi from Immigration.
You're welcome to the show, Madu Abuchi.
Yeah, we were talking about what happened in the Super 8 final. See, the coach, by no any means or whatever the coach done, that he will ask the players to do. But I want to tell you something. See, this our league. For it to grow, we need to upgrade it, make it interesting. I tell you that last two seasons ago, I watched every game that played in this Igrita here in the Adoka Stadium here again with Rivers United. You see, sometimes the officiating is so annoying. It's home based. It's a team play at home. But the decision made by the referee, sometimes even we supported, it's not encouraging. Those matches cannot be shown on television for other people to see it, because there's a lot of blunders the referee makes. Yes, playing at home does not mean that you have to win that match. And that is why you see that when we go out to that continuation side, where they give them that opportunity, that favor, you see them coming back with doing nothing empty. They'll just go there and fumble and come back.
All right, Madu Abuchi. Thank you so much. Let's leave it there, as we are out of time. We can't take any more reactions. So thank you very much for being a part of the show. Do join us by 7:30 a.m. for Sports Attack tomorrow morning. And of course, we return for today's Sports Live by 3 p.m. My name is Victor Oriahi. Good evening.
You know, we no keep passing, we no keep malice. Yeah, we just gonna have some fun tonight. We are the happy people, we are the world. I day with you. Location, send your location to me. Then I day with you. Location, send your location to me. Then I shoot
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Many thanks for joining us. Good evening. The news update for 4. I am Lucky Maxwell. The president of Benin, Niger, and Guinea-Bissau have arrived at the Asu Rock Villa to visit President Bola Tinubu. President Patrice Talon of Benin, Mohamed Bazoum of Niger, and Omaro Embalo of Guinea-Bissau were received by Tinubu at the forecourt of the presidential Villa Abuja. Soon afterward, he led the West African leaders into a private session at his office. While the specific agenda of today's meeting is not yet public, it comes barely 9 days after President Tinubu assumed the chairmanship of the Authority of Heads of State of the Economic Community of West African States. The leaders are expected to discuss security and economic development in the sub-region. The Department of State Services has described the lawyers who filed contempt charges against the DSS Director General Yusuf Bichi over the continued detention of embattled former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, as charge and bail lawyers. The secret police, in a series of tweets on its official handle, noted that the lawyers were headed by an overzealous and uninformed IPOB ESN lawyer. Some lawyers filed a contempt charge against Bichi over alleged disobedience to multiple judgments and orders of the court, directing the release of Emefiele from the custody of the agency. The lawyers were led by Maxwell Okpara, one of the counsels to Nnamdi Kanu, the embattled leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has disowned the police lawyer Ibrahim Mohammed, who filed a criminal charge against former Minister of Aviation Senator Stella Odua. The anti-graft agency today told the Federal High Court in Abuja that Mohammed, as Superintendent of Police, was not mandated or authorized to file any criminal charges against Odua, who represent Anambra North in the Senate. EFCC's counsel, Helen Okonufwa, informed Justice James Omotosho that the police lawyer who claimed to have come from the legal department of the force headquarters was also not authorized by the anti-graft agency to represent it to prosecute Odua in any criminal matter. The counsel stated that Mohammed was initially with the EFCC but was disseconded from EFCC back to the police on November 4, 2022 and had since had nothing to do with the EFCC. She also told the court that the criminal charge filed on June 22, 2023 by the police lawyer in the name of EFCC has no authority or approval of the agency. The counsel informed Justice Omotosho that the police lawyer had been investigated by the EFCC as ordered by the judge, and that the report of the findings will be filed at the registry of the court and be made available to the court thereafter. In a short ruling, Justice Omotosho fixed October 4, 2023 for the EFCC to formally make the report of the findings available to the court. On the foreign scene, a UK woman jailed for illegally procuring her own abortion when she was between 32 and 34 weeks pregnant will be released after the Court of Appeal reduced her sentence today. 45 years old Carla Foster was handed a 28-month jail sentence last month after admitting to illegally obtaining abortion tablets to end her pregnancy by telling an abortion counselor she was around 7 weeks pregnant, well within the legal limits. But 3 judges at London's Court of Appeal reduced her sentence to a 14-month suspended prison term, meaning she will be released and only return to jail if she breaks any requirements set by the court. Thousands of protesters marched through London demanding that abortion be criminalized after the mother of 3's sentence was handed down. And that's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Are you tired of paying rent? Wouldn't you like to own a house of your own? Stress no further, because with just 5 million naira, you can become a proud owner of a 2-bedroom apartment and 4-bedroom smart terrace duplexes in a serene environment within GRA. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. With just 5 million naira down payment, you can say bye-bye to house rent issues. Why not start today by investing in any of our off-plan project and spread the balance within a year and 6 months? Wow! So what are you waiting for? Activate your access to luxury living by dialing 0913-888-8892 or 0706-282-4485. Don't forget, you can also invest in any of our landed properties in different locations. Pay us a visit today at Odibola House, Yenwali Surim Layout, Tumbia Extension, GRA Phase 3, Port Harcourt, or online via www.odibolaproperties.com. Follow us on social media and win big in our Big Fridays giveaway. Facebook at Odibola Property, IG Odibola Properties, and Twitter Odibola Properties.
You may wonder why we chose to dabble into broadcasting. It is because on Today FM, we understand the right of every person and every group to fair coverage. In bringing you the news, we give you a platform to share your views. We give you a voice. Your premium talk radio, Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people, the people, the people, the people.
Stand, greet.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You're welcome to Jagbajantis High School. My name is Sound Sultan, your new mathematics teacher. By the way, do you understand pidgin English?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what we go use henceforth? Okay, carry your pen, carry your paper. Same for my class. People of this world, them plenty.
Shanty ball.
Sins of this people, many, so many.
Shanty ball.
Many times plenty, multiplier.
Multiplier.
Many times plenty, multiplier. 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 The answer you get now waiting, they make come and they cry. The answer you get now waiting, they make rich man.
It's 7 minutes past 4 o'clock. Good afternoon to you. And welcome to Tuesday's edition of the Platform on Radio on your premium talk station, Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. I am Prince Ajubo. Of course, I'm here to give you insight to some of the news reports making the rounds. We delve straight onto the menu. Filling stations in Rivers State adjust pumps to over 617 naira following increase in pump price of petrol by NNPCL. Group alleges marginalization in award of oil pipeline surveillance contracts in Rivers State. Former spokesman of Pan Niger Delta Forum, Anap Sarigbe, accuses former Governor Nyesom Wike of neglecting riverine communities during his time as governor. And dog kills 3-year-old in Iboeche. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority says oil marketers have commenced the importation of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol. This comes 7 weeks after President Bola Tinubu announced the removal of fuel subsidy on his May 29 inaugural address. With this latest development, the monopoly of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited comes to an end. The Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Farouk Ahmed, made the revelation yesterday during a stakeholder engagement in Lagos. Meanwhile, filling stations are already shutting down operations in Port Harcourt following the increase in pump price of petrol in retail outlets owned by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited in Abuja. Today FM's Ifunanya Obeme Ndukwe, who visited some filling stations, reports that just few stations are operating, with customers already crowding them in panic. While some stakeholders have already adjusted their pump price to 617 naira per litre, others are still selling at the old price of 511 naira. Some of the respondents who spoke to Today FM expressed displeasure over the sudden increase in the price of petrol, noting that an increase is not what Nigerians need at the moment. Let's listen to them.
I came to buy fuel, but suddenly we saw all the filling stations shutting down. When we got there, they're still selling the normal price, but there's panic, so people are buying. I just feel that it's going to cause a lot of problems in our country because the hike is too much. Can you imagine you buying fuel that you used to buy for 200 and something naira some months back, and now it's 500 and they want to still increase it to 600.
We heard that there is panic, that they want to increase fuel, you see. So when we came, like just walking down here, I saw that what they said is true, so we have to go rush down to the house and get some gallons to buy our fare.
I feel very bad. I get to find out that's selling fuel now 610 naira. If you can drop the price of the fuel down for us, I think that's what all the masses need for now. I can't even meet up, even take care of my vehicle again. What would I take home to my family? I don't have anything to explain to my family. After working now, all spending money in petrol. My children cannot go to school again. I can't even meet up to pay my total school fees again.
A staff of one of the point. But before I bring you in, we have here with us our petroleum correspondent, if I could use that. I'm talking about Ifunanya Obeme Ndukwe. Good afternoon to you and welcome to the platform.
Good afternoon.
Well, we were complaining, Nigerians were grumbling about the increase or the taking away of fuel subsidy. Now it does seem like things are getting worse. You were out today. What's the feeling like amongst Rivers people? How they reacting to this new development?
People feel like it feels like every day you wake up there is an adjustment, and the adjustment is not a positive one, it's a negative one. You know, every day things increase. You hear fuel is increasing, you hear the dollar is increasing, you know, so a lot of persons are feeling disappointed, and that's why they are calling on government to make this adjustment. So I think I just saw a report just immediately just now, and the MD of, I think the managing director of NNPC, Kiari, is saying market forces, are responsible for this. But then again, we are waiting. Since petroleum marketers have said NNPC, can no longer, fix the price for them. I believe this is NNPC fixing the price based on what they bought, from the market. So I think we should just wait and see to
Okay, the other marketers that were just been licensed.
Yes, there were 3 marketers that have been able to import. So I believe they would fix their prices, in line with their expenses, market forces like they call it. So whether it's landing cost or anything, they will fix their prices as well. But the thing is, I feel the government is not very clear. The NNPC MD has already gone to see the vice president, explaining that market forces are the cause of this. And we already know NNPC is a private company. So why treat NNPC like, it's still an agency
of the government?
That's what we need to be cleared, because if you invite an agency of the government.
So in your report, you said that a few stations are in operation. They are selling at the new pump price, and you also mentioned that there are crowds everywhere. Why do you think people are in a rush to
Well, you know
buy
how
this?
Nigerians are when you hear any slight news about an
But it's not
increase,
even coming
everybody,
down. No,
everybody
simple economics teaches us that when price goes up, demand drops, sort of. So how come in this case?
The truth is, petrol is like salt.
Okay.
In Nigeria, you just can't do without it. First of all, we have epileptic power supply. A lot of persons are running businesses. A lot of persons need to power their houses. So a lot of people need to run their vehicles. We don't have Tesla. We don't have other kinds of other means of powering.
Okay, even if we had Tesla, we would have been able to afford it.
So yes, definitely people need to rush to get it. And the funny thing is, this started in Abuja.
Yes.
It's not like people have gone to buy, the
new product at new price.
You have old stock. Why not sell your old stock at the price you got it? Yes, definitely when you go to buy, new stock, the price will increase, but you come back and also buy and also sell to customers according to how you bought. So the excuse of if we don't start selling now, with the new price, we can't buy, it doesn't make any sense, because running petroleum business is the same thing as owning a shop. If you sell Indomie and the price has gone up, you have to sell what you have from
first.
And then whatever price.
Is that your experience with Nigerians?
That's how Nigerians do. Everybody wants to maximize. Everybody wants to make profit. Every slight
exploit every situation. Yeah.
You want to make profit out of it. So there's so much insincerity in the petroleum sector, from the marketers to the depot owners to the state and federal government.
But some people will argue that you can't blame it. That it's smart business practice to capitalize or exploit every situation to maximize profit.
Well, you may say, they may call it capitalize or whatever, but when we look at the laws, it doesn't, it's very, very wrong.
Okay, I know.
Because we have regulatory agencies. If they say they want to go after them, according to, what the law stipulates, definitely a lot of them will be shut down. But then NDPR or DPR, as they used to be called, they actually do not do their job. Whether they go to filling stations, the truth is they go. When you see them operating, below the standards, against what the government approves, I don't know how they do their dealings. On a normal day, a lot of filling stations, if these people are working, should be shut down. But we know how they operate.
We know.
They actually don't do their work.
Okay, does that mean that they get their palms greased or something?
If they don't, a lot of filling stations will be closed down.
Okay, one last question before I let you go. You did say in your report that the Petroleum Product Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria will be coming out with a comment, an official statement on this after their meeting today. What should Nigerians expect? Should we expect that whatever they come up with will be palatable to Nigerians?
Well, the truth is, at this point, they are not major. They did not import. If Petron, actually imported fuel.
Okay, none of their members got the license, or they couldn't as a group.
People who are actually licensed to import, they are major marketers. They are not small people.
Okay.
For instance, we have people like Mobile. We have Owandu.
But I was thinking, like this Petron, they could form a group and
there's a plan. Like what is it? There's a plan.
Okay.
They're trying to push forward to get their own. Their own depot. So individually, it's not that easy. It's a it's capital intensive.
So we shouldn't expect anything different from what the NNPCL.
The truth is, they also are at the mercy of NNPC. They are at the mercy of
the marketers. Okay.
The major marketers they were given license to import. So they are going to. I'm sure very well they are going to go back and look at what they have to do. how much they be buying and all. Are they going to be buying from NNPC? Are they going to be buying from the other marketers that are supplying?
Or are they going to get their own license?
It's not that easy. There's 56 persons applied, but just 10 persons, met the criteria, but only 3 persons have been able to import. So it's not an easy process, and it's a very big deal.
They are rich people now. These Petron people, they are the oil thing. You're in oil business. You're rich people. But thank you very much, Ifunaya, for coming on the show this afternoon. All right, that was our energy correspondent, Ifunaya Obemendukwe. Okay, time for me to have your take on this. I don't know. Some people say every time you turn on the radio, you go online, whatever you get to hear about Nigeria is depressing. Yeah, Nigeria wants to make you want to collapse. Okay, so what's your take on this development, the jerking of the price of the pump price of petrol to 617? I bought 144 naira a while ago before coming to the station. So did I say 100? 644 naira. I don't know how much you've bought and how it's affected your life. But tell me, what's your take on all of this? And do you think Nigerians, there will come a day when Nigerians will breathe a sigh of relief? You turn on your radio and you hear something good. 0817-0000951 is one of the numbers you could call. The other is 0810-9510-951. You can as well send messages to the number 079-339-962. Both messages. Hello, good afternoon to you.
Prince Ajobo.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much. I am Mascot.
Okay.
And indeed, calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. We will continue to complain and cry unless we do the right thing. Ajobo, ask me the right thing. Can you ask me? Okay. The right thing is people's strong activism. If you fail to go out to the street,
are you there? Okay, I'm so sorry. I'll move on to the next caller. Sorry, you could call back. Hello, good afternoon to you.
yes, my brother, good evening.
You're welcome to the show.
Yeah, my name is Lugaman, calling all the way from Eche.
All right, Lugaman.
Yes, when I went to police station this morning, what I saw is not something to write home about. And this is not the kind of thing we want from Mr. President Tinubu. We cannot subject Nigerians to hardship. We have been complaining about 511 naira, and now we are buying fuel 630, 620, just like that. For me, it's not a good one. It's not a good development at all. I want to use this medium to beg Mr. President Tinubu.
Is he responsible for this?
Yes, it's the government in power.
I hear the NNPC or NNPCL is a private company these days.
My brother, whatever NNPC is doing, the Mr. President is aware. There's no way you tell me that the President is not aware on what we're passing through in this fuel issue. So for me, I want to say that I campaign for. And what I'm seeing now is not what made me to campaign for him. So I'm using this medium to advise him not to allow revolution to take place in his government.
Okay. Whatever that means. All right.
Hello?
Yeah, thank you. Although I don't know what you mean by revolution, but thank you all the same. Thank you so very much for calling in. Hello, good afternoon to you. Okay, we missed that. I'll take one call and then we'll move on to the next story.
Order.
Inferior. Okay, go on, make your point.
Finally.
And ultimately.
Permanently.
Okay.
Totally destroy. Everywhere is war. You see, so long as one budgetary system is placed only on benchmark of crude oil, the countries of the world that don't have crude, don't they prepare budget?
Good question.
Yesterday I was watching when the custom controller Kwara State Command was reading out the success recorded within the first and second quarter this year. They have made profit to the federal government to the tune of 6 billion naira. Where is the money? Where is the money that Senator Ahmed Tinubu, the president, told us they have made over 400 billion naira in the first 1 month?
All right.
We'll continue to shout and shout.
All right.
Bless you. Good afternoon.
You too. God bless you. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, Mr. Zion, good afternoon to you.
You're welcome, Mrs. Zion.
I want to thank President Tinubu for his good work.
Which one in particular?
fact, this is the kind of president I need.
Are you being sarcastic here?
Is it president?
Hello?
Yes, so he's our president.
What good works are you referring to, please? What good works are you referring to?
How much is one price today now? It's not over 600 now.
Okay, that's good work, right?
Is
Okay.
it good work? Is it a bad work?
Okay.
Is it not all to develop the country?
Okay.
We saw him now. He's a good man. He looked at it that this buying at that rate is not good. He told us he's removing subsidy, everything. So now that we are buying it for 600, I want to beg him, please, this 600 naira, we can still afford it. If you can increase it up to 800 naira, it will be good for us.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Less than 2 months in office. Imagine just as if already in 3 years. Imagine before December, how his administration will look like. So may God bless Tinubu for us and all his cabinet.
Amen. Amen. Okay. I've been wondering myself, I've been thinking, why does it seem like Nigerians, why have Nigerians not risen up in anger and frustration as they did way back in 2012? You remember that time the petrol price, the pump price was increased to about 10. Was it 110 or 120 during the administration of Goodluck Jonathan? But we're here. Well, let's move on to the next story. Away from Patrick Bay in an interview with Today FM's Uchende Joho blamed underdevelopment in the region on the indiscriminate removal of the NDDC management and board. The Niger Delta activist and elder statesman said the reason leaders of the region visited President Tinubu to commend him was because he did not remove the MD of the NDDC, who he said was part of the struggle for the development of the region and has taken steps to stabilize the system. We'll hear him now.
There are rumors abound that the political class is trying to push Mr. President to change the management of NDDC. We don't want those fraudsters to take over the wealth of Niger Delta. If Mr. President wants to get the support of Niger Delta, he should allow this management team and come up with the board immediately. Competent hands, experienced hands, those who can effectively work for the people of Niger Delta, and not those who will come to embezzle our money. The Niger Delta is satisfied with the present team. Let us see how far they can go. And Mr. President, please, we beg you, the Niger Delta region beg you to please allow the present management and within a short while appoint a board for the region. Nobody should interfere with the region again.
Reacting to comment by former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, who claimed and described the NDDC, I beg your pardon, as a cash cow for politicians, Anabs Sarigbe said Wike does not have the moral justification to criticize the NDDC when he could not use the 13% derivation meant for oil-producing communities to develop the areas. Sarigbe challenged Wike to name any oil-bearing community he developed with basic social amenities.
I don't expect him, as a former governor, to make justice. He was having the 13% derivation fund, and today he has left office. The oil-bearing communities in the state are living in squalors. Where the oil is coming from, villages, communities stay without light, without water, without jetty, without road, without health center or hospital, without good schools. So if you led a government state and you are taking 30% derivation, 30% derivation means from the oil-bearing communities, and you are taking as oil-bearing state, and yet this dividend of 30% does not go to them. By implication, you are a member of the board, the governing board of NDDC. What was your role in galvanizing the Niger Delta states together in their tenure as governor for 8 years? And the issue of the state government will control what project NDDC will do in their state is very wrong.
Okay, on to the talking point now. What's your take on these comments by High Chief Sarigbe, and what have you got to say about how the